Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. Hopefully, everybody had a great week. So, I want to get on here tonight and provide a little bit of motivation, a little bit of inspiration. And once again, as usual, I really enjoy talking from my books. So, tonight, I got a special treat for you tonight. Tonight, I'm going to read from my book, What It Takes to Become a Mentor. All right. To me, over the years, I've had a lot of great mentors, and I've really learned not only from those that are senior to me, I've also learned from those that are junior or subordinate. I don't really like to use the word subordinate. I really like to use the word junior. All right, so those that are junior to me, I've never been afraid to learn from anybody. Okay, and it's quite interesting because there's a lot of people that really do get, they really put themselves up on this tremendously high pedestal and they think that they just cannot learn from anybody. And those are the types of people that, nobody really pays much attention to. Have you ever had one of those bosses or one of those supervisors that really just, they're not really in tune with anybody else. They're really just selfish and all about themselves. I've definitely worked for some of those types of people over the years, and it can be extremely frustrating working for those types of people that are just really selfish in it for themselves. And I don't really consider those people a mentor. All right, so if you know anything about me, you know that I've shared the story of one of the worst, leaders, if you want to loosely call this person that I've had over the years, in which basically I come to this individual for a particular problem that I was having. And without missing a beat, this doggone joker said, "It's not my job to train you. It's not my job to teach you. It's not my job, in other words, to listen to anything that you have to say and provide any type of mentorship or, even just a listening ear would have been great at that moment in time." But this person just completely turned me away. And at the end of the day, I didn't really feel hurt about it. I was like, okay, let me go to the next person and see who's willing to listen to what it is that I have to say, because I was really struggling at that particular time, and I really needed somebody to kind of listen to me and to help me with what I had going on. And since he didn't, oh well, I no longer trusted that individual, no longer had faith in that individual that he was my leader, and I just moved on to the next person. Now sure, this person wasn't removed from their position; they was still in that leadership position, and there was certain things in which I had to do, but that was it. There was a minimalistic look or a minimalistic approach towards my actions towards this individual after that particular situation. All right, so if you don't know anything about me, my name is Terry Wade Thompson. I am a motivational speaker. I am a published author with 5 books published. I got a few more that I'm working on at the moment. But right now, I currently have 5 books out there on Amazon. They are out on, I think I still got one out on iBooks. I got an audio book out on Audible and on iTunes as well, too. So I'm working on trying to get my audio books out there onto multiple platforms. But I also have all of my content, well, not all of my content, but I've got enough to where you can kind of get a sense of who I am and what I provide on my website, terrythompson.me. There you will find my books. You will find some motivational, inspirational content from my books that I've written, and then some bonus material as well, too. Also on my website, I have a couple of books. I have a couple of freebies for you. So when you go over there to my website, terrythompson.me, you will find one of my books that I wrote called How to Live Your Best Year Ever in 2019. Okay, and that really, that's a really good book. That has a lot of great tips, tools, and techniques that will pretty much help you have a great day. Because I strongly believe once you're able to master the day, you can master the week, master the month, and master the year. All right. But it all starts with you putting forth that intentional effort to have a great day. If you can have a great day, once again, you can have a great week, a great month, and a great year. All right. So hop on over to terrythompson.me, sign up. I promise I won't spam you. Trust me, I really do not spam any of my followers. All I want to do is provide more value, more content, and and I'll give away all my books for free. Okay, and I've got a bonus here as well too. But I'll talk about that here in a minute. Okay. Also on my website, terrythompson.me, I have my audiobook, Leadership Solved. Once again, all I ask you to do is provide an email address. You'll get instant access to the digital copy of that, the audiobook as well. Okay. Once again, I don't spam. I send out more content, send out all of my my stuff to you. Now, if you want to take it one step further, I just started my Patreon page. Very exciting process. I signed up for that today, and that's one way in which you can show your support to me. So I have 3 levels. Tier 1, which is supporter, Tier 2, which is super supporter, and then Tier 3, which is ultimate supporter. Within each one of those tiers, you will actually get digital access to all of my books, okay, for being a supporter. You will also get access to my audiobook. You will also get access to my exclusive content that is not available publicly. So I want to try to transition a lot of my content over onto my Patreon page. So that way you can have, show your support to me, and I can provide exclusive, great content that you cannot find anywhere else on my Patreon page. So I hope that you come over and show your support and join my Patreon. It's only $10 a month, $25 a month, or $50 a month. Here's the bonus. If you sign up for the $50 a month, you will actually get direct access to me. I will conduct a live video teleconference directly with you, and I will go over anything that you want to. So you will have actually direct access to me, live video teleconference. You can ask me anything. We'll talk about business. We'll talk about leadership, talk about how to build a website, how to build a business. If you want to learn about leadership, life, you want to learn about whatever it is that you're trying to do, I will help you. I will mentor. I will be your virtual mentor. All right. You join Tier 3, $50 a month, and you can not only get access to all my books, exclusive content, shout outs, even shout outs in my videos, but you will get direct access to me. I have over 24 years of knowledge and experience of leading others to personal and professional success. I've built multiple online business that generate thousands of dollars a month for me. Okay. And I want to be able to take that knowledge and experience and give that back to you. I know within my YouTube channel, I primarily talk about leadership or motivation and this, that, and the other, but I'm also an entrepreneur. I have built multiple online businesses, and by you showing your support on my Patreon page, you will have direct access to me to talk business. Okay. I'm also in the process of creating online courses as well too, to teach things like copywriting, how to build a business, how to build a website, how to build a landing page. I got all this stuff that's coming. And I'm actually considering putting that content on Patreon. I haven't fully committed to where I want to put this yet, but I'm actually considering putting this out there on Patreon, primarily for either my super subscribers or my ultimate subscribers. Once again, you get that ultimate subscription, you're going to get direct access to me. So you will not only get all of my content, you will be able to interact with me live. So that way you can ask me questions. I can further elaborate on things for you, and I can help you grow your business. I can give you ideas. I can give you tips, tools, and techniques and resources in which to not only build a business, but grow a business. We can even talk marketing strategies. We can talk social media. We can talk all kinds of stuff. You join that Tier 3, you will get direct access to me and my 24 years of knowledge and experience of leadership, business, marketing. Okay? Direct access. You definitely want to join up. All right, so enough about that. Enough about the Patreon. I hope that you'll show your support within that. All right, so tonight, what do I want to do tonight? Tonight, I want to read from you from my book, What It Takes to Become a Mentor. All right, this book right here, believe it or not, is a bestseller in the UK. It blows my mind how this book is a bestseller in the UK. It's not a bestseller in the US, it's a bestseller in the UK. And that absolutely blows my mind. I'm still trying to figure out to this day, why is this book a bestseller in the UK? It's one of those things that, it's a mystery to me, and I'm truly happy for it, but it's actually a mystery on how that book is a bestseller within the UK. Taglish Vlog, thank you for joining tonight. How are you doing tonight? You doing well? Yeah, I want to definitely thank you for joining me, taking time out of your evening to come over here and join me. I hope everything's going well your way. So tonight I'm reading from my book, What It Takes to Become a Mentor. And what I was just talking about is how this book is a bestseller in the UK, and for some reason it's not in the US, but it's a bestseller in the UK. It absolutely blows my mind. So you just woke up there? Well, good morning or evening, unless you sleep during the day. I'm not sure. I've worked both of those types of cycles, so I know how tough it can be to wake up, in the morning, and then how tough it can also be to wake up in the night when you're doing night shift. So hopefully you had a great night's sleep or a great day's sleep. Once again, as always, thank you. Wishing you all the best, continued success, and once again, thank you for joining me. So it is morning there. Okay. Hopefully you're not having a heat wave like we are here. So my goodness, it was about 102 degrees here today. My goodness, we're having a huge heat wave through here, and it's really hot. I was at a store probably about 2 hours ago, and everybody in the store was just absolutely miserable. They were sweating. They were just sweat. I was sweating. I had to leave. I was like, I can't be up in here. Y'all ain't got no air. Y'all ain't got no air conditioner. I'm out. Y'all making my teeth sweat. So I had to get on out of there. But once again, thank you for joining me tonight. I wish you all of the best and continued success, and I hope that you have a great day. I hope you really enjoy the content that I provide. Once again, let me know if you really enjoy listening to the things that I do talk about. Please let me know. If there's something that you want to hear me talk about, please let me know, and I'll make sure that I either talk about it right there, or I'll make a note of it, and I'll come back to it, and I'll create a video specifically for you within the content. I'll make sure that I give a shout out to you, make sure that I have your channel within the description as well too. So that's one thing that I usually ask. That's kind of an ask for me. I usually ask, if you give back to me, I give back to you, kind of a thing. And if you provide motivation or inspiration for me to talk about something, once again, I'll make sure that I mention you within the video. I'll make sure that I tag you within the description, and that'll get visibility back to you. USA Blogger 2019, thank you for joining me tonight. That was an absolutely great live stream that you gave today. As always, lots of great content, lots of great tips, tools, and techniques as well too. And I finally took your advice. It was about an hour today. So I took about an hour today, and I signed up for Patreon, and it wasn't really too difficult. I mean, there was a couple of little steps that I got kind of hung up on a little bit, but once I got past those particular steps, it was really easy for me to really set up my Patreon page. After that, link it to PayPal and everything, and kind of go from there. So I did sign up for your tier 2. That was $25 a month, I believe. And I greatly appreciate everything that you're doing. I appreciate all the support that you give. I appreciate all of your content. I appreciate all your tips, tools, techniques. Once again, it's all about building that business, okay? And you have a lot of business savvy and a lot of business sense, and and I want to thank you for sharing a lot of that. And I definitely look forward to more. So tonight, it's already there. Yeah, it's already in my on my page. So at the top of my page, I got there within the links there. So I got my website, my social media, and to the left of that, it says become a Patreon or become a patron of Patreon. So it's there. It's there. I got 3 tiers: $10, $25, and $50. And, each one of those tiers, as you know, has different things. So tonight I am talking from one of my books, What It Takes to Become a Mentor. And I know that that's one of the things that you talk about quite often is mentor, and that's what I pride myself on, is being a virtual mentor in which I am coaching, I'm teaching, I'm training, I'm mentoring. And having a mentor is very important. Okay. That's how you learn and how you grow. But remember, a mentor is chosen. Just because somebody is within a particular position, it doesn't necessarily make them a leader, or it doesn't make them a mentor. At the end of the day, the leader doesn't choose who follows them. At the end of the day, a mentor doesn't choose who they mentor. It's all about the person choosing their mentor, and I've chosen a few mentors over the years that has provided a lot of purpose, motivation, and direction to me. And it's helped me to not only grow personally, but to grow professionally within my life and within my business as well too. And that's what I want to try to do. I want to try to share some of that content. So here's my book, What It Takes to Become a Mentor. I hope that you enjoy the content that I'm sharing with you tonight. And if you do, once again, make sure that you hit that subscribe button. Give me a good thumbs up. And once this video does go live, after we're done on this live stream, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. All right, so here we go. Time to rock and roll, as they say. What it takes to become a mentor. Now, before we get started, what exactly is a mentor? All right, a mentor is an influential person who serves as a wise and trusted advisor or guide. I like to look at a mentor as a helping hand that can assist you to grow and develop to your fullest potential, kind of like big hands helping little hands grow and develop by planting the seeds that have potential to become something great. All right, so let me ask you, do you want to be great? Do you want to be successful? Do you want to succeed? And if you do, I'm the right person that will help you grow and develop into the person that you want to become and the type of mentor and a leader that others deserve. Okay. So in the room here, we also have, I'm probably going to pronounce this wrong, and I hope that you can forgive me. Misab Ade. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce that, but welcome to the room. Thank you for joining me here tonight. So I'm talking from my book, What It Takes to Become a Mentor. If you're new to my channel, which I believe that you are, please subscribe. Give me a thumbs up, and thank you for joining me. All right, so let me ask you this. How often have you seen someone and thought to yourself, that person motivates me. I want to be just like that person right there. Okay, this person that you look up to is a person of influence that can serve as a mentor to guide you along the path to becoming something or someone bigger than you are, allowing you to become who you were meant to be and fulfill your greatest potential. I'm here to tell you right now that you have untapped potential in you that you don't even know yet. And sometimes all it takes is a leader. All it takes is a mentor to extract that knowledge and that experience out of you so that you can be more confident, more competent, and you go out there and kick ass and take names. All right? I'm here to tell you right now that if you want to be motivated, I'm the person that's going to motivate you. All right? I have over 24 years of knowledge and experience of leading others to personal and professional success. And the tips, tools, and techniques that I have within this book right here that I'm reading from are going to guide you down that path to that success that you want to achieve. All right. So throughout this book, let me back up just a second. Everyone has potential. Okay. I strongly believe that you have potential. USA Blogger, you have potential. Misab Aid, you have potential. Flat Earth Forums, thank you for joining me. You have potential to be bigger and greater than you are. Okay. All you need is a mentor. Everyone has potential to be greater than they are, but that potential has to be identified and nurtured like seeds in the ground can be nurtured into a tree with the potential of bearing fruit. You have to be nurtured into becoming a person of influence and success by identifying your mentor and following in the footsteps that have made them successful so that you too can have your own version of success. So let me ask you this. Leave me a comment within the chat section if you already have a mentor. Who's your mentor? All right, USA Blogger 2019. I know who your mentors are. You have a few really good mentors. So share in the chat room with me. Who is your mentor? Who has had the most influence and who has had the most impact on your life? Who has developed you into the person that you are today? Okay. Now, when I was growing up, for me, it was my mom and my dad. Okay. I learned a tremendous amount from my mom and my dad. I learned a tremendous amount from my great grandmother, playing Yahtzee with her every night whenever I was over at her house. We would sit there and we would play Yahtzee, and we would listen to old records on a record player and stare out the window, and we would for hours, and we would have so much fun. And we would not only play, but we would also talk. I can't remember how old she was when she passed away, but she was close to, I think, 80 years old at least. Okay. So she gave me a lot of wisdom. Okay. So USA Blogger 2019, great grandmother and Zig Ziglar. Zig Ziglar is a great motivator. You know what? One of the very first motivational, inspirational books that got me started on my path to leadership and motivation and to self-development was by Zig Ziglar. It was called Top Performance. That was the very first book that I read that led me down that path of who I am today. All right. And I read a lot of books, but Zig Ziglar's Top Performance was the very first book that I ever read in the self-help development world that led me down my path. Okay. The second one was most likely, I'm fairly certain it was First Things First by Brian Tracy. There's others. I mean, I've read lots of books over the years. Okay. All right. So Flat Earth Forums, I follow Jesus, but as far as people in my life, yes, my parents and grandparents, my bosses and owners of companies. I really like Gordy Bobs recently. Zig Ziglar. Yes. Okay. So Jesus Christ is the very first mentor, the very first leader. He set everybody on the right path in which all things are possible through, well, I'm going to chop this up. I know that there's a different quote. All things are possible through God. Okay. But Jesus is the gateway to that. All things are possible through Jesus. When you believe, you can achieve, and he has set the example for those to follow. All right. Now me, I go to church, I pray, I believe. Okay. Jesus is the first leader. He's the first mentor. Okay. There are lots of great leadership lessons within the Bible. Okay. Well, I don't want to turn this into church tonight, but I do believe, and I read the Bible. I go to church. We pray in our house. We've taught our kids to pray. We pray in the morning. We pray every time we eat. We pray before we go to bed. And here's kind of something unique. We actually let the kids lead us. We taught them to pray, and now they've taken over and they lead us in prayer. That is absolutely amazing because that has set the example for them. And as they get older, they are going to continue that tradition, and they are going to continue that example when they get old enough to have kids. All right. So continuing right along, throughout this book right here. So I'm talking from my book, What It Takes to Become a Mentor. Throughout this book, I will discuss the concepts that I believe makes a person a mentor. So what exactly are those things or those concepts that makes a person a mentor? So if you know anything about me, you know that I love acronyms. Okay, I love acronyms. I love taking things and breaking them down into an acronym because it makes it more memorable. And when you can ingrain something into your head and make it more memorable, that's when you can use it more freely and more openly. Okay, so here's what I believe. I believe that a mentor is a motivator first and foremost. A motivator. All right, Chess Crystal, how's everything going? Thank you for joining me here tonight. Hopefully I didn't miss anything because, for some reason, I have no idea how this works. Every time I click on, I can't see the participants. So I know when I'm in other live chats, I can actually see the participants by clicking, and then it shows me who the participants are. But for some strange reason within my own chat, I can't see who the participants are. So usually when I see somebody leaving a comment, that's when I know that somebody's in the room or watching me live here. Okay, so moving right along, a mentor is a motivator. First and foremost, a mentor is a motivator. You have to be able to motivate people to take action. And when you can do that, you become what is called an enabler. You enable others. You enable them to want to do things. You know, as people, you know, we get into this thing to where, you know, we say we have to do this. You know, I don't have to do much of anything, but there's lots of things that I want to do. There's even things I need to do and I must do. And that's what a leader and that's what a mentor does. They enable others so that they can shine. Okay? When you enable others, it's all about them. You make them shine. Now, a mentor is also a negotiator. All right? A negotiator. Sometimes you have to negotiate. Sometimes you have to go to bat for your people, okay, and stand up for them and stick up with them. And you also kind of have to negotiate good, bad, different, ugly, whatever the case may be. You got to really be able to negotiate conversations, negotiate situations. You got to be able to negotiate. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. So I'm just letting you know what the concepts are up front. A mentor is also a teacher or a trainer. Okay, so USA Blogger 2019, if you have not caught one of her live streams, she is a great teacher. She provides lots of tips, tools, techniques, and resources that teaches you how to do things. Gordy Bob's, if you've watched any of Gordy Bob's live streams, which I know you all have, he also is teaching. He is a good mentor, a great mentor. He is teaching you how to do things. Okay? USA Blogger 2019, you're absolutely welcome. You're one of my mentors as well, too. I've learned from you. I've learned from each of you. If I've seen your live stream or I've read some of your content, which I do, I read a lot of the content, I have learned from you. All right? So a mentor is a teacher. Also, a mentor is an organizer. Okay? A mentor is an organizer. They organize things, not only themselves, but others as well, too. All right. And then last but not least, a mentor is a recruiter. All right. So a recruiter, and that's team building, building your team, getting people on your team or making people want to be on your team. And that's where it becomes important. That right there is when you know you're onto something, is when you can recruit without having to really recruit. When people see what you're doing and they like what you're doing, they want to be a part of that. You don't even have to go out there and say anything or do anything because it's already speaking volumes for itself. And when people want to be a part of what it is that you're doing, you don't have to do much. They will just follow you anyway. Okay? All right, so let's dive right in. If you're new here and you have not been a part of my live streams, once again, welcome. Make sure you smash that thumbs up button. If you have not subscribed to me, please subscribe to me. I look forward to motivating and inspiring you from my book tonight, What It Takes to Become a Mentor. All right, so first and foremost, a mentor is a motivator. A motivator is someone that stimulates others towards action to accomplish things that must be done. All right, a motivator has a big circle of influence and uses that influence to give other people the drive and determination to succeed through, guess what? Their example. Not necessarily what they say, but what they do. Their example. That's influence. And when you can set an example that others want to follow, you build influence, and furthermore, you develop that impact, that positive impact, that makes others want to follow you. Okay? So I've often heard people say, you know what, Terry? You motivate me. I've had thousands of people tell me that. Okay? Because remember, I've got 24 years of experience leading others to personal and professional success. And I've had lots of people say, you know what, Terry? You motivate me. For the longest time, those used to be just words to me that I would hear people and I never really thought anything of them until I started asking the people that would say them, what is it that I do that motivates you? Because for me, it just came natural. I was just naturally being Terry Way Thompson, and people were following what it was that I was doing. Blew my mind that someone would say, you motivate me. And they wouldn't just say it once, they would say it multiple times throughout the day. You motivate me. Hey, guess what? You motivate me. You know, now it's really interesting, okay, because I would ask them, what is it that I do that motivates you? You know, the responses that I received were interesting and they were very broad ranging, but the most common answer that I received, can you guess what it is? Can anybody guess what the most common answer that I received back from people that said, you motivate me? All right. Believe it or not, the most common answer that I received was, you motivate me by the things that you do. Not the things that I say. Now, I know that I have a very good speaking voice. I know that I can really put it on if I wanted to. Okay, I got a few different versions of my voice that I can do. All right, so I have worked radio. I had done audio work. I've done videos, commercials. So I have done a lot of radio work and a lot of audio type work with my voice, and I can kind of do different things with it. So notice that I didn't say that I motivated them with the things that I say. Exactly. Action speaks louder than words. Chess Crystal, you are on point. You know what? 2 thumbs up for you. You get 2 big, gigantic thumbs up right there up in the air. Thanks for joining me tonight, Chess Crystal. Thank you very much. Action speaks louder than words. People are motivated by the things that you do, not by the things that you say. You know what? If I say something to somebody, all right, they can make a choice. You know, they can have a choice. They can choose not to do something that I say or what have you. Okay, they really can. It's really kind of up to them. Now, over the years, I really haven't had very many people that just went against anything that I said, because I have really good influence, you know, and a positive impact on those people. But I have had a few, what I like to call knuckleheads or muscleheads, if you will, that decided they wanted to challenge me. And, well, you know, I showed them a thing or two on how I could speak after that. Okay, so look, people are motivated by the things that you do, not by what you say. So if you look at motivation in that sense, it is a word of action. It's a word of action that stimulates others to want to emulate what you do, as they believe it will lead them to success. Okay, so my challenge to you is this. My challenge to you is to motivate someone today by being an example that they would like to follow because of the actions that you take that inspire them to want to do the same things that you do, leading them to succeed the same as you. That's being a mentor, being a motivator. When you can inspire action, okay, when you're not even around, people will do what it is that they've seen you do when you're not even around. And when you're not even around and people are taking action when you're not even watching, that's when you know you're onto something. You have influenced people and you have had a positive impact on their lives when they can take action when you're not even there. That's being a mentor. That's mentorship right there. All right, so take a quick pause for the cause here. Take a drink. How's everybody doing tonight, by the way? Everybody doing well tonight? My live streams can be full of energy. They really can be. Like I said, I get pumped up over this stuff right here because I'm excited to be able to be your virtual mentor. I'm definitely excited to be here, and I'm excited that each and every one of you are listening. And thank you. Thank you very much. Hopefully everybody's doing well tonight. All right, so moving right along. A mentor is an enabler. The term enabler is often looked at in a negative context, though. Okay? But in the sense of being a mentor, it is positive. Okay? Now let's look at the term enabler in both contexts. In the negative context, an enabler is a person who recognizes that a negative circumstance is occurring on a regular basis and yet inadvertently assists the person with the problem to persist with their detrimental behaviors. Man, that is a mouthful right there. It really is. That's a mouthful. Okay, but look, people will interpret what they interpret or how they interpret things based off of their perspective, which comes from their values, which comes from their upbringing and their level of education and so on and so forth. That's a whole different conversation in and of itself right there. Okay, and I'm going to have to create a video in and of itself on values. Okay, I think that would be a great topic to talk about, to talk about values, where they come from, how they're developed, and this, that, and the other. So that was a negative. In the positive context, an enabler is a person who, through his or her actions, allows someone else to achieve something by equipping that person with the power, the means, the competence, and the confidence to accomplish something. That's when you enable someone. You know, it's so easy. It is tremendously easy to tear somebody down. It is easy. I can tear somebody down just like that with one word. Okay, but that wouldn't really set right with me, because my job as a mentor and as a leader is to lift people up. Okay, now I have this quote I'm going to share. I'm going to kind of go off script here for just a second. I had this quote that I came up with a few years ago. I hope I don't screw it up. I hope I don't mess this up here. But I had this thing that I came up with. It's, if you see me looking down, it's because I'm helping you up. I'm lifting you up. If you see me looking at you, it means that we are peers and I'm working with you. We're working together. But if you see me looking up, it's because I am thanking God for all of the blessings and all of the opportunities that He has given me to do the things that I do. Okay. And every single day I'm fully blessed and fully thankful for the opportunities that I have to not only be a mentor, but to be a leader to those that have put their faith and trust in me to lead them down the right path on to personal and professional success. Okay. So that was kind of a quick kind of off script kind of a thing here. And hopefully that inspired you. All right. So now that we understand the difference between negative and positive enabler, let's look at some examples of each. An example of a negative enabler would be a person that gives an alcoholic or a gambler money, enabling them to support their negative habits. Wow. Talk about negative enabling. Okay, now I'm sure that I could go through a lot of negative examples on how you could negatively enable somebody. That's just one right there. When you give an alcoholic or a gambler money, you enable them to support their negative habits. Wow, that's some negative enabling right there. All right, so an example of a positive enabler is a father that spends time with his kids, listens to them, shows them the difference between right and wrong and how wonderful he thinks they are, enabling his kids to be happy, leading to confidence. Okay? Once again, wow. You know, kids are easily impressionable. The things that we as parents do, kids are watching. Everything that you say, everything that you do, and they are emulating that. Okay? They are emulating that. Remember, I remember one of the very first times that I heard one of my kids say some choice words back to me. They cussed right back. And I was like, whoa, maybe I need to stop saying those types of words. And, that was kind of an eye opener for me, because there was once a time where I used to cuss like a sailor, so to speak, to kind of coin a term or coin a phrase. And when one of my kids said one of those words back to me, it really kind of opened up my eyes just a little bit. So once again, you got to positively enable your kids. Teach them, show them the right example. Be an enabler. All right. So some people feel powerless to change their situation and often deny or conceal their inexperience through perceived competence through displayed confidence. These people will hide their true abilities behind a mask and require or wait for someone to enable them to be motivated to get things started. Okay? This is where the mentor comes into action and serves as a positive role model for others to follow, enabling others to emulate their example. Now we understand now that an enabler can both be positive and negative. My challenge to you is this: be a positive enabler by setting the right example for others to follow, enabling them to be more and accomplish more than they ever thought were possible. You know, let me ask you a question. How do you feel when somebody says to you, you can do it? Yes, you can. You have what it takes to do this. You know, let me be a little bit transparent with you. I used to be, and I still struggle with this today, I used to be a huge procrastinator. Okay, procrastination sucks, I'm telling you. I have caught myself in the battle between two things to the point to where I've had analysis paralysis and I can't even take action. Have you ever found yourself in that type of a situation? Okay, whenever a leader or a mentor sends confusing messages or cross messages to someone, you do the exact same thing. You do not enable them. Okay, you do not enable that other person. You actually disable them when you do those types of things. So once again, be a positive enabler. Okay? Common Sense with Elizabeth. Welcome to my live stream tonight. You finally caught up to my live stream. Well, thank you for joining me. Thank you for taking time out of your day to come over here. So once again, I can't see everybody that is in the live stream and watching me. So if you just leave me a comment, that way I can see see that you're here. The Gaming Prince 91, thank you for joining me here tonight. All right, so once again, if I see your name in here, I'll make sure that I give you a quick shout out within my video here. And, hopefully this is motivating and inspiring you tonight. Hopefully this is giving you some tips and some techniques, or at least some things to think about. And that's what I want to do. I want to be able to give you some things to think about, so that way you can put those in what I like to call your toolkit. Okay, so I have a toolkit. It's a virtual toolkit. Okay, it's not really like a big giant tool. I have that out in my garage. But I've got this toolkit here. Think of like a virtual toolkit, and that's where I keep all of my tools. Okay, now my tools is the knowledge, the experience, everything that I've learned over the years, and I can pull out those tools and use them accordingly. Think of it that way. Yeah, virtual toolkit. USA Blogger 2019, I guarantee you that you have a virtual toolkit. You have a lot of knowledge and a lot of experience, so you can pull out the right tool and use that in any situation. I guarantee that you do. Each and every one of you that are here tonight, I guarantee that you have in your toolkit the right tool for the right job when it's needed, or if it's needed. Okay? But you know what? Even though you have all these tools within your toolkit, all right, it's even possible to use the wrong tool. And I've done that several times, and that comes with experience. Okay, I'll share a quick story with you. I had a situation years ago in which I used the wrong tool. I thought it was the right tool, but my leaders thought it was the wrong tool and completely chastised me for doing what it is that I did. Here I am thinking that I took appropriate action and got this person the help that they needed, but yet in the eyes of others, according to their knowledge, their experience, their perspective, their toolkit, the action that I took was wrong. Have you ever had a situation like that? For me, that sucked. It totally just blew out all of my motivation that I had, because I really thought that I was helping this person, when in fact, according to another perspective, I didn't help the situation at all. And I had to go behind closed doors, and I had to have a conversation with one of my senior leaders on why I did what I did. Okay, well, I had somebody that, was having some very negative thoughts, and my choice was to get this person some help with a pastor. okay, which I thought they needed to talk to. I didn't think they needed to go to the crazy place, which there's that too. I really just kind of thought that this person really needed to talk to like a deeper level counselor, a pastor, than myself. So that's the course of action that I took. And apparently that was the wrong course of action. I make mistakes too. I'm not perfect. And I owned up to that one. I learned from it, and then I moved on. I took that perspective, kind of sharpened up another one of my tools, put it back in my toolkit. And, the next time something like that happened, I was able to take a different course of action. Okay. So once again, virtual toolkit, make sure you have a virtual toolkit and put all the tools that you can in there. So that way you can use them if or as needed. All right. So moving right along, a mentor is a negotiator. This is a good one right here because, there are lots of leaders out there that absolutely will not go to bat for their people. They are all about themselves and they are very selfish, and they will not negotiate anything for you or for the team or for the company, whatever level that you're on there. And I think that's actually sad. You have to be a negotiator. So let me ask you this. Do you constantly have to argue or justify things that you want, need, or desire? Example given: personnel, resources, tools, equipment, money, and so on. It sounds to me like you need a good negotiator or good negotiation skills, okay? So that way you can take appropriate action. All right, so when we look at the term negotiator, let's look at that. What is the first thing that comes to mind when you think negotiator? All right, so that's actually kind of an interesting word right there, negotiator. What's the first thing that comes to mind when you think of the word negotiator? All right, most often when we hear the term negotiator, we think of people who negotiate through discussion, dialogue, or conversation that is intended to produce a settlement, an advantage, or an agreement. Okay, that's the definition of that. Okay, the ability to negotiate helps you resolve situations where the outcome, resources, tools, equipment, money, and so forth conflicts with what someone else wants. Okay. So Chess Crystal responded with someone that will agree. Well, you definitely don't want a yes person, okay? You definitely don't want a yes person that's out there. So a negotiator, a negotiator has a few different ways of looking at it, but you definitely don't want a yes person that's on the team, because a yes person won't really negotiate. They just say yes to everything. They won't even go to bat or even argue for the team. They'll just jump on there and say, oh yeah, we got to have some of that. Oh, I'm not going home till we get some of that. One of the other really bad leaders that I actually had a yes person as a leader one time, and they actually would volunteer the team, okay, for all kinds of things. We were already overwhelmed and overworked, and we had this leader that would constantly agree to things and would constantly say, yes, we're going to do that. Oh, we got that. Oh, my team's going to do that. Oh, yeah, we ain't going home until we do some of that. And it was killing us. It was absolutely crushing us. Okay, so you definitely don't want someone that just agrees with everything, because that really does not get you or the team or the company anywhere. It really doesn't. It doesn't accomplish anything. Yeah, it may kind of subside the situation or the circumstance or whatever the case may be, but it doesn't solve anything. It really doesn't. Okay, so you have to have the ability to negotiate. All right, so when we look at negotiation in these terms, we see it more as an art form, okay, in which to get things done that are beneficial to everyone by finding a fair compromise or kind of a middle ground solution that makes everyone happy. Okay, now I know what you're going to say. Everybody's going to say, well, you can't just make everybody happy. You can't really just come up with this. And if you're into the business of trying to make everybody happy, you're going to make nobody happy. I get that. I've actually seen that done to where, you know, here's something that's interesting. This is actually one of the funniest damn things that I ever seen right here was leadership versus likership. Have you ever seen people that lead based off of the idea that they are liked? Leadership versus likership. Nowadays, I would strongly agree that we have people that are practicing likership instead of leadership. It takes courage, it takes candor, and it takes commitment to be a leader, to be able to stand there in someone's face and say no. Okay? It takes a very strong person to be able to say no. It really does. I can say it easily. No, we ain't doing that. I ain't having none of that. No, my people ain't doing that. They work for me, not you. I work for you. Let's go back over here and we'll talk about that. Okay? It's not me being an ass about the situation. It's just me standing up for what's right for my people. Okay? And you have to be able to negotiate. You have to. Okay? And sometimes those things don't make people happy. Yeah, some things may make your people happy, but make your boss upset, and vice versa. Because I've had both situations in which my people didn't want to do something, but I saw an advantage or I saw a benefit to doing something. And sometimes people don't understand why you're doing things. Okay, but I've also discovered that when people understand why they're doing something, okay, what they're doing becomes no longer important when they understand why. Now, we've kind of come into a day and age in which a lot of people, to include children, are asking why. And then you get a lot of people, parents, leaders, mentors that say, because. And that's the default answer, because I said so. And then they put you can't see my arms, but they cross I'm going to put them up higher. They cross their arms because. And they throw their head up because I said so. No, that ain't good enough anymore. That's not good enough anymore. Okay? People want to know why. When they know why they're doing something, they will be able to give to you 100% all their effort, their energy, their tools, their resources, and so on and so forth. When somebody knows why they are doing something, and not just because they are told to, you will get a lot more from your people when they know why they're doing something. I guarantee that. Guarantee it. So when somebody asks you why, take the time to tell them why. Okay? Don't just say because I said so. Tell them why. You'll get a lot more from those people. Okay? So in the sense of being a good negotiator, it takes practice. Okay, it takes practice in order to get any good at it, because a deal could head south if you do not know how to negotiate. Yeah, absolutely. So Flat Earth Forums, you got a great point right there. When they see the big picture, they will try harder. A lot of times people don't necessarily have that 30,000 foot view. They got that ground level view, and depending on whether they're looking up or they're looking, up, or they're looking down at the ground, they might not necessarily see everything. But that's where leaders, when they got that 30,000 foot view and they see the things from the top, okay, they can provide that purpose, motivation, and direction from what they see at this level. But more importantly, get down there on the ground with your people and lead by example by doing. Not just by saying because you have that 30,000 foot view. You have to be able to get down there with your people. I'll share a quick story with you. I remember one time I used to work in computers and networking, and I was building this network, and we had 3,000 cables that I was trying to wire this building together. So we had all of our switches, all of our networking equipment, and this, that, and the other. And me and my team had just spent 48 hours building 3,000 cables, Cat5 cables, to put together this network. All right. And it was a tough couple of days. Now, over the next couple of days after that, that's when we started installing all of these cables throughout this building that we were networking. Okay. And, you know, and I remember I had one of my bosses come in and said, "What are you doing up on that ladder?" He goes, "Aren't you in charge of all these people? And, you know, and what's this person doing over here? And what's this person doing over there?" You know what I did? I didn't get down off that ladder. I stayed up on that ladder. And as I was still putting things up there, it wasn't a sign of disrespect. Okay. I was like, "You know what, sir?" I said, "I'm helping my people and we're trying to get this job done because it needs to get done. And if it means me climbing this ladder and putting this crap up in this ceiling, then that's exactly what I'm going to do. So if you have any more questions, you know, please, I got things I got to do. We got to get this done." You know, and he respected my feedback. He also respected the idea that I was taking action with my people and I wasn't just telling them what to do. Now, my people also seen that, and they, you know, once again, that got me more trust, more faith, and they wanted to work harder because I was right there with them. You know what? Some of the best things happen when you're right there with your people working with them. You get to hear all the best stories, you get to hear all the best feedback, and more importantly, you're right there with them and they're not doing it. Guess what? They're not doing it behind your back. Because leaders that don't get off their ass and out in the open with their people are talking about them. I guarantee it. When you get out there with your people, you gain that faith, you gain that trust, and then you learn you don't forget the skills that you have developed. And if anybody's having any trouble, then you can teach them, you can mentor them, you can show them that example. Instead of them having to find you, you're right there at the ground level with them, helping them along the way. All right, I need another drink. Okay. However, when I look at a negotiator in terms of being a mentor, you know, I often think of the skills that the negotiator possesses. Okay. And these skills are effective communication skills, discipline, good people skills, technical skills, and so on. Would you agree or disagree with that? I think that if you want to be a good negotiator, you have to have effective communication skills. Now, I've seen a lot of leaders that are out there that can't really communicate themselves out of a box. It's freaking hilarious. Sort of. You know, I'm glad I don't work for those types of people, but I have been around those types of people that, you know, they can't communicate themselves out of a box. It sucks. You know, and then discipline, good people skills, technical skills. All right. So just because you become a leader, just because you become that senior, it does not mean that you lose your technical skills. Okay. You still have to maintain your proficiency within your technical skills. Because remember, as that leader, you still have to be able to teach others their job. And if you lose that technical ability, you will not only be able to not teach people, you will also not be able to know if they're trying to brush one over on you either. Believe me, I had some employees one time that was trying to brush something over on me one time by telling me some bull stuff. And and I was like, yeah, I was listening to them. Are you sure that's it? You know, I was kind of challenging them. They didn't like that, you know, but they was trying to blow one over on me. And had I lost my technical ability, they probably would have gotten over on me with that. You definitely need to make sure that you maintain your technical skills so that way you can not only be equal with those people that you're leading, you'll know whenever they're trying to blow one over on you, so to speak. All right. So these skills are used interconnectively to negotiate or accomplish obstacles, people, goals, and situations. So these are skills that I believe everyone wants to possess and must possess in order to be successful at negotiating diverse, complex, or even simple tasks when leading themselves, small teams, or large corporations. All right, so if you know anything about me over the years, you know that I've got 24 years of knowledge and experience leading others to personal and professional success. I've led small teams, you know, as little as one, you know, myself, because remember, the first person you lead is yourself. You lead yourself first, then you lead others. Okay, you grow yourself, you develop yourself, and then you lead others. And I've led larger groups to over 500 people. Okay, and it gets to be tough, especially when you got to deal with a lot of different personalities. And sometimes you have to be that alpha personality. Sometimes you have to be that soft listener that's just listening and and showing somebody support. You gotta have, like I said earlier, you gotta have that toolkit. Know when to use it and how to use it, what to use it, and so on and so forth. All right, so let's take a look at each of these skills so that you will understand why they are important in order to be. Lost my place here for a second. Sorry about that. I just scrolled through like about 8 pages here. I'm sorry about that. All right, so each of these skills must be used interconnectively in order to be a successful negotiator. All right, so let's kind of peel the onion back here. That's embarrassing, man. I grabbed my mouse. Here's what I did. I grabbed my mouse and I flicked it real quick, and I just scrolled through about 8 pages and just lost my page on where I was at here. So I truly do apologize for that. That was very unprofessional. Yeah. Hey, Flat Earth Forums. So I've spoken to over 1,000 people in a room, and I'm up on stage, man, and I got the freaking microphone, and I got about 1,000 people in this room, and I'm trying to motivate and inspire them, and I absolutely lost a page. I lost a whole page, and when I started talking and I kept going, it didn't make sense to me. And I kind of had to stop for a second. I was like, wait a second. I was like, I just went from one thing to another and just transitioned like to a whole different car. I had to stop what I was doing and take a step back. And then from that point, I was like, you know what? Forget it, man. I'm just going to improvise from this point. It was slightly embarrassing, because I got 1,000 something people in front of me. I'm up on stage talking at the podium with a microphone here. And I absolutely lost my place. But once again, it was a good conversation nonetheless. All right. So, that was a great honor though, man. It really was. So I've actually been able to be on stage and talk to thousands of people several times. And I've been chosen to be a guest speaker at some events. And, and those are some really good events. I'm telling you, the networking that happens after that or even before that, well, it's awesome because before that, nobody really kind of knows who you are. You're just mingling amongst the crowd. Yeah, hey, what's up, dude? Hey, what's up, bro? Hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? Next thing you know, they see you up on the stage. They're like, whoa, man, I just talked to that guy. And then when you see them afterwards, it's like, hey, man, like, they got a whole different attitude and perspective on it. That's actually happened to me a couple of times. And that time, that's where I'm handing out business cards. I'm like, here you go, here you go, here you go. It was kind of funny, actually. And so I remember a couple of times there where I actually got more business after talking on stage than I did before going on stage. It was kind of interesting. But yes, I have been on stage with a couple of big time people as well too. So who's familiar with Onyx Singal? Anybody know Onyx Singal? I was actually on stage with him. I got to speak at one of his events, which was really awesome, man. Dude brought me up on stage, and I got to speak to his audience and share one of my businesses at one of his networking events. I thought that was absolutely amazing to be able to meet Onyx Singal. And guy brought me up on the stage, and I had a great opportunity to speak at one of his events. It was awesome. So I would have to say that was probably one of the biggest people that I got to share the stage with was Onyx Singal. It was an amazing opportunity. All right, so effective communication skills. The ability to talk to someone professionally will speak volumes of you and your organization. These skills are diverse in nature, as you could be talking to someone who speaks different languages or even from a different country. Man, that right there is interesting because I've talked to people from other countries, and I tried to speak the language and this, that, and the other. And sometimes, I didn't get it right all the way, but, they applauded me for trying. And sometimes whenever you get people with different accents, it's kind of hard to, it's really kind of hard to understand sometimes. So I got a whole other video. I'm going to kind of veer off from that because I do have a whole other video that I can talk about effective communication skills. And That's a whole other lesson right there about effective communication skills. But it helps to know some local customs and courtesies so that you can mention them as you communicate. It also helps to remain courteous, speak in a kind tone, and do not use profanity or inappropriate jokes that could offend the other person or lead to hostility. Effective communications help you connect with others instead of just talking to or at them. How many of you have ever had somebody and it just really felt like they were just talking at you? You know, they weren't talking really to you, they were talking at you. There's a difference between when you're talking to someone and when you're talking at someone. Let me take it a step further. How often have you been talking to someone? They're not even looking at you. They're looking away. Yeah, and I tell you what, another thing, and bam, 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 and bam, 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 bam. How often have you been talking to somebody and had that happen? Oh my goodness. That right there is uncomfortable when somebody they don't have the courtesy or the professionalism to look at you when they're talking to you. Usually if that happens to me, I will scoop that joker up in a heartbeat and I'll say, hey, you need to look at me while you're talking to me. Okay, don't you look off into the damn sunset. What are you looking at, some freaking clouds or something? Once again, I don't want to turn the hat around and turn into, bad version of myself. But I have had to scoop somebody up a couple of times. And, I had to take them down south. So that's a whole different conversation as well, too. You got the South, which is the SOUTH, and then you got the South, which is SOUF. And if you've ever listened to Mickey Zozo talk in her live streams, that girl is off the chain. She would take you down south in her conversation. She will light you up like a darn candlestick. And I grew up in the South. All right. I spent a lot of time down in Texas, Oklahoma, and Georgia, and that's where I get some of that from right there. Okay. When you're from the South, believe me, you can take somebody to the South and absolutely mess them up, and they don't even know it. All right, enough of that one. But it's a very uncomfortable moment, okay, whenever they don't even have the courtesy to look at you whenever you're talking. All right, so that brings me to my next point. That takes discipline, okay? Good discipline allows you to stay the course and see things through to the finish without quitting or giving up. Do not allow yourself to get complacent by lowering standards or looking for shortcuts. Ensure that you are setting goals that are high in quality but achievable. Start small and work your way up to more complex goals so that you have small victories along the way that motivate you to maintain your discipline and your focus. Okay? All right, next, good people skills. The ability to deal with a diverse set of people, to include their mentality, their attitude, their customs, and courtesies, will give you the advantage in effectively being on the same wavelength as them. Okay? Without good people skills, you could be talking apples when the other person is talking oranges and not even know it. Okay? That's a bad situation to be in. All right, you have to be able to know what it is you're talking about. Have those good people skills and be intuitive to who you're talking to. Because sometimes you could, like I just said, you could be talking to somebody about apples and they're sitting there thinking the whole darn time, hey, you're talking oranges. What are you talking about? I have no idea what you're talking. I've had things go way over my head. I remember the other day I was talking to one of the team leaders in my organization, and and it was kind of funny because I really just asked the guy a simple question. All it really deserved was a simple yes. But this guy gave me like a whole lecture on, the thing. And to this day, I still have no darn idea what his answer was. The dude didn't answer my question. Okay, so once again, that people skills. You got to be able to effectively communicate and have good people skills in order to deal with them. I was like, dude, all I needed was a yes. I mean, you didn't have to talk to me for 30 minutes. I just needed you to say yes. We're good to go with that. Let's move forward. Is what it is. All right. So without good people skills, you could be talking apples, like I said, and oranges. This could lead to disrespecting the other person to include their customs and courtesies that are a part of their diverse culture, and a disastrous situation for you and your organization. disastrous. So let me ask you, how many of you work in jobs or you're in positions in which you are global, which you're worldwide, where you deal with people from other countries? Okay. Sometimes how you communicate with people are different depending on what country or what culture they're from. Okay. And what works well for one will work completely different for the other. Okay. You might be able to joke to somebody in one culture or country, but not be able to joke with people from another culture or country. It could be completely misinterpreted. It can be taken as unprofessionalism. Okay. So know your audience, know who you're talking to, have good people skills, but more importantly, before you go into any situation, know who you're talking to and do your homework. You have to do your homework, because you could go in and lead in with a joke and you could totally blow the deal because, they don't do that. They don't joke. They're serious. And that makes you look unprofessional. You could blow a deal and lose money for you and your company, all because you didn't have good people skills. And that's based off of kind of some perspective as well, too, based off culture. So, good people skills. All right, technical skills. I'm very technically proficient at a lot of things that I do. All right, I build websites, I do graphics design, I make videos, I do audio, networking. I mean, there's all different kinds of things that I do. I'm a very technically inclined person. Okay, I went to school for a lot of different things and this, that, and the other. So technology is expanding every single day. It's changing. It's evolving. Okay. What we knew as technology, 20, 30, 40 years ago is not the same technology that people are using today in order to be successful. Years ago, a pencil and paper was considered high technology. Nowadays, people don't even use a pencil and a paper anymore. They're on their iPhones, their devices, their tablets, their computers, and this, that, and the other. And that's technology. All right. But I remember a time years ago where a pencil and paper was some technical stuff right there. That was technology. All right. But it's constantly growing, constantly expanding. If you do not keep up with what is out there, you could be left behind the power and the learning curve. Last night, I'll give you an example. Last night, so in one of my businesses, I actually do live interviews. And so I was interviewing somebody last night for one of my other websites. And this person, she was pretty old, 79 years old. And, she was fairly technologically, I totally chopped that word up. She was savvy. Okay. But there was a lot of things that she didn't know. And she was asking me for some help on a lot of different things. So I was offering to help her with her website. I was offering to help do some graphics design. I was offering to help in this, that, and the other, because she's a client of mine. And, and I really wanted to help her out. But man, there was just such a learning curve that was there that I don't think we fully really discovered what she struggled with, because she struggled with most of it. Okay. So for me, I was like, you know what? I ultimately came to the conclusion within that conversation. I was like, you know what? Here's what I'm going to do. I told her what she needed to know and what I needed to help her with, instead of waiting on her to tell me. And sometimes you need to do that. Sometimes you just need to take over a situation and just start telling people what they need. All right. Because they're not very technically savvy. Have you ever dealt with a person that's like that? A person that's not very technologically savvy, to where you have to take over the conversation and tell them what they need to know. It's very interesting. All right. So let me kind of scroll up here. Let me do some quick shout outs here. So in the room here, or in my live chat, we have USA Blogger 2019. Thank you for joining me here tonight. I'm truly blessed by your presence. Chess Crystal, thank you for joining me here tonight. Common Sense with Elizabeth, if you're still here, thank you for joining me here tonight. We also have Flat Earth Forums. Thank you for joining me here tonight. Thank you for joining me here tonight. All right. So hopefully I didn't miss anybody. Once again, if I missed somebody, leave a comment. That way I know you're here. And, I'll make sure that I give a proper shout out here. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for joining me here tonight. Okay. All right. So technical skills. Your ability to use the same tools and the resources that other people are using will keep you and your organization competitive and on the same level as those you are competing against or working with. Okay. Learning new equipment or software can be overwhelming the first time you see and use it, but with enough training and practice, you can become proficient at it. So, USA Blogger 2019, let me ask you a question. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think you use OBS to do your live streaming. How long did it take you to really kind of get comfortable with that software? Because I want to use that. I really want to get into some live streams where I'm sharing my desktop and I can kind of do some things and bounce around and this, that, and the other. And I think you can do that in OBS. I really have to kind of learn that software. So I'm gonna be learning some stuff here pretty soon. So my live streams are about ready to get a little bit more interactive and where I can share myself and I can share my desktop. I seen Khan, I forget his first name, Khan. I seen Khan from TubeBuddy the other day. I watched one of his live streams the other day, and he was doing the exact same thing. He was bouncing around. He was showing himself, showing his screen. He was showing doing channel reviews. It was an awesome live stream. So I'm really interested in that. I really wanted to use OBS, StreamYard, huh? Yeah, I got to look into that as well too. Thanks for sharing that. So OBS, I know I got to look into that. StreamYard, I got to look into that because I really want to be able to do some very interactive type live streams where I'm showing you things. You're not just looking at my books behind me and stuff here in my white screen. So I want to be able to get interactive with some things. I already downloaded it. Yeah, I already downloaded it. So I have it. I just got to take a look at like what it takes to go live and build some things that I can pull on to the screen and have that really prepared because I really want to be able to do some really good live streams for everybody here. All right. So I'll take a look at that OBS, Streamlab Element, and StreamGround Elements. I'll definitely take a look at those. Thank you for those recommendations, by the way. Thank you. All right. You got to learn new technology. That's my point. You got to learn. You got to be technically proficient. All right. So a mentor is also a teacher. And we have a great teacher here in the room with us tonight. We have USA Blogger 2019, who is a really good teacher, highly inspirational, highly motivational to listen to, and somebody who I consider a mentor of mine as well, too. All right. So one of the worst things, I'm going to share this story with you again here. If you've watched any of my live streams, you've heard me share this story. All right. So one of the worst things that I ever had a leader say to me is that it's not my job to teach you. You know, for me, that was absolutely disheartening. I lost all faith in that individual. And at that time, I was a junior leader. I was looking to my senior leader for advice on something that I was having trouble with. Okay, and I really looked up to this person. And I don't know what was going through his mind. I really don't know if he was just having a bad day. I really do. To this day, I still don't know. And I really don't deserve an answer or anything like that. But I know that right there, when he said that, it really broke my heart at that moment. Okay, but I moved on. And I went to the next person and I was like, and I do have a green screen, by the way. I got a white screen, a green screen, and a black screen. So I have a full studio down here. Yeah, I got a full studio down here. I got the tripods with the lamps and the umbrellas, and I got a big camera on the other side of here and everything. So I got some good stuff coming for you guys here pretty soon. And I'm gonna start working on some online courses here and get some of that out there. Some of that content's going to be either on my website or it's going to be on my Patreon page. So I talked earlier about my Patreon page, and I got that set up. And you join my Patreon. I got 3 tiers. I'll have some exclusive content. You can have access to my books, my audio books, and I'm thinking about putting some online, exclusive content on there as well too. So I hope that you will consider that and take a look at that eventually as well too. So. Yeah, I definitely got some really good stuff coming for you guys here pretty soon. All right. So back to my story here. That was one of the worst things. And the moment that I heard that, I really did. I lost all respect for that individual. I felt completely cheated that this person would be so selfish as to think that because he was a senior leader, it was no longer his job to teach those that are below him. I was below him. I was beneath him. I was underneath him. Okay. For him to even take time out of whatever was going on in his day to either to show me what it was that I was trying to ask him to show me. Because in the back of my mind, I thought that, you know what? You're the senior leader. You're the subject matter expert. You know what you're doing. I have trust and I have faith that you're going to show me what to do. And he didn't do it. It blew my mind. Now, this was years ago. I'm talking about this was 20 years ago. This was a long time ago. All right. I was a junior leader at that time. And yeah, it was very interesting. Very interesting situation. All right. Here's a point right here. Leaders do not ever stop teaching because they are in a leadership position. Leaders are consummate learners and eternal teachers. Okay? Leaders are consummate. I'm going to try something here. Nope. That doesn't work. Okay, I was going to try something, but it didn't work. I was going to try to copy and paste something in there. All right, so leaders are consummate learners and eternal teachers. I guess I got to get used to this whole live thing. I guess I can't copy and paste from what I'm using here. All right, leaders are always on display. That's a very good point. Leaders are always on display, and people are learning from them. Whether you know it or not, people are learning from you by the things that you say and by the things that you do, and more importantly, by the things that you don't do as well, too. Okay? So leaders are always on display and often do not know who is looking up to them as their mentor. You never know who's watching you. Somebody could be from a distance and you not even know it, but they're looking up to you. They are watching you. They're learning from you. They're watching everything you say, everything you do, how you walk, how you talk, and they are learning. So make sure that you are putting good vibes out there. Make sure you're leaving good footprints out there. All right. Make sure you are shining. Okay. So that others can shine. Set that example. All right. So leaders are always on display. All right. So a couple of comments here. Common sense with Elizabeth. I keep posting and it keeps disappearing. That's weird. Happens to me the other night on another live stream. Yeah, so I tried to copy and paste from my because I got my book up here on Amazon. I got it posted on read.amazon.com. So in other words, I got my book here online here that I'm reading from. Apparently, Amazon won't let you copy and paste from your book. I should have brought up the PDF version of it. Is what I should have done. But yeah, I've seen some things like that. They've disappeared as well too. But this is my stream. Why would I not be able to? It's interesting. But anyway, the words and actions that a leader takes in most aspects are things that are being taught to those that are paying attention to the leader. These actions, whether they are good or bad, speak volumes to those that are paying attention, will be emulated by others, and ultimately passed on to whoever is paying attention to them, creating a continuous cycle of teaching. So it's up to you as the leader to ensure that you are displaying what I like to call the good stuff, as it will be passed on to generations in a never-ending cycle of teaching current and future leaders. All right, so when I think of a mentor as a teacher, I think of the things that a teacher does to make an impact on those that they teach. Okay? And this is done through the acronym TEACH. Once again, earlier I said that I like acronyms, so I got another acronym for you here, TEACH. So TEACH stands for Transform, Expand, Assist, Connect, and Help. Now let's kind of peel these back just a little bit. Let's take a look at the meaning of each of these. All right, leaders are not only, once again, I'm going to kind of hammer something home here. Remember, leaders are not only consummate learners, but eternal teachers. All right. They are eternal teachers. All right. So the first one, T, transform. A mentor transforms others by inspiring them to change their expectations, perceptions, motivations, and goals. Transformation is all about change. All right. The ability to see new ways of doing things and the implementation of those ideas and concepts in a fresh and exciting format is at the heart of transformation. Just because something can be done one way, it does not mean that it is the way of doing it every single time. There's many ways to catch a fish. There's not one like the way to catch a fish. There's many ways to catch a darn fish. I've caught fish using my hand, my arms. I jumped in the water and freaking grabbed that sucker and wrestled him out to the darn ground. I got you. You're mine. I ain't letting you go. Okay? So I've caught fish that way. I manhandled that sucker. All right? I've also, believe it or not, I had a piece of string, put a hook on it, and put a piece of paper on that thing and caught fish. Those fish were hungry if they wanted that paper, I can tell you that. But I caught them, you know, and it was funny. I was laughing at it. I thought it was kind of funny. Some dumb fish. That's why they got caught. All right. So once again, just because something can be done one way, it does not mean that it is the way of doing something. I believe that there are many ways of accomplishing the same thing. How something is accomplished is simply a way of doing that thing. We must be open-minded and understand that there are many ways to get the same results. This is achieved by transforming your mind, body, and spirit to understand that many things can be accomplished through utilization of a diverse set of knowledge, skills, and thinking. All right? So remember, you're going to default back to the way that you know how to do things because that's what you know. All right? Had you known something better, you probably would have taken different action. Okay? Once again, it goes back to a great quote. Great quote. I'm going to leave you with a quote here. All right? I'm not leaving, but I'm going to drop a quote here. If you want a better outcome or better results, learn how to ask better questions. Because by asking better questions, you will discover the appropriate action to take that will lead to the success of those outcomes. Okay? Ask better questions. You want a better outcome, better results, ask better questions. All right? All right, so moving right along. Expand. A mentor expands on current abilities and capabilities of others through diverse teaching and learning. In order to avoid limiting our ability, we must expand our capability through a solid personal and professional education and training system. Obtaining a diverse set of knowledge and skills gives us the ability to accomplish or overcome a broad spectrum of tasks and situations. A mentor is always expanding his or her circle of influence by continuously connecting, assisting, and helping others achieve their dreams, their goals by, you know what, adding value to them. Remember, being a mentor is not always about you. It's about them. It's serving others, providing purpose, motivation, and direction to others. Okay? Expanding others, enabling others. You see how all this is kind of tying together? Does it make sense? Really? You've tried posting? You've tried. What are you trying to post? Common Sense with Elizabeth. What are you trying to post? Said something that something disappeared for the 7th time? That's interesting. Are you trying to post an emoji? I'm not sure. All right, moving right along. Assist. A mentor assists those they teach by providing examples, feedback, and whatever is needed to develop, contribute to growth and development. whatever is needed to develop or contribute to growth and development. I'm sorry. All right. Sometimes we need a little assistance because we don't understand something fully. You know what? I'm not ashamed to say that I need help. I'm not ashamed to say that I need assistance. Okay. Believe me, I've been down that road of struggling with something and just beat myself in the head silly because I didn't understand something. There's nothing wrong in understanding something. All right. I'm not a subject matter expert at everything. Don't get me wrong. I'm pretty smart and I know a lot of things, but there are still things that I don't know because you know what? I know because I've been down the path that I've been down. I'll share a great story with you. Here's a great story. It kind of hammers home the point of what I'm just now talking about. I remember one time I had a senior leader who challenged me on something. He goes, well, you're in charge. You should know everything. You should know what to do. I was like, sir, I'm sorry, but I have no idea how to do that. Okay. I don't know how to do that. And I wasn't ashamed to let this person know that I didn't know how to do something. But he goes, yeah, but you're Terry Thompson. You're in charge. You're a leader. You should know how to do this. You have over 24 years of knowledge and experience at doing this right here. What do you mean you don't know how to do it? I looked at that joker right in the face. I was like, sir, do you know how to publish a book? And he goes, no, but what does that got to do with the situation? Well, it has everything to do with the situation. You want to challenge me on something that I don't know how to do? Well, you just admitted to me that you don't know how to write a book. You don't know how to publish a book. After all, you're my senior leader, and by God, you know everything. He didn't like that. We had to go outside to finish that conversation. He goes, do we got to go outside? Well, if it makes you feel any better, let's go on outside and talk about this. We went out back. We went toe to toe. And I tell you what, it was like two damn chickens clucking out in the front yard, fighting over the same damn piece of corn. We was freaking knocking necks back and forth at each other. It was hilarious. You should have been there. It was funny as crap. At the end of the day, guess what? We were both wrong. We were both wrong. We shouldn't have done that. Our conversation should have never gotten to that level, but it did. You know, and sometimes you got to take things to that level in order to either prove something, make a point, or let them know that you're not going to back down from them. And we sure did. We went out back and we had to go. Verbally, of course. You know, we didn't hit each other, not like that, but we definitely had a battle of the minds and a battle of the wits. And, you know, at the end of the day, neither one of us won. But at the end of the day, we both shook hands. We got out what we needed to get out. We walked back in that building and we just continued taking appropriate action after that. And we forgot about it. It was done. Sometimes that's what you got to do. Absolutely, Chest Royal. Two chickens fighting over freaking corn, man. We was going at it, neck and neck. If you've ever seen two people going back and forth like that, it's a funny argument. It really is. It's a funny argument. All right, so a mentor will see that an individual is struggling and might need that little something that will push them over the obstacle to accomplishment. Marie Adventure, how you doing tonight? Thank you for joining me. Children of the Corn. That was a good movie. That was a classic right there. That really was. That was a good movie. All right. So this is done by not doing something for someone, but by coaching or guiding them along in the process. Okay. Because if you do something for someone, they're not going to learn from it. Okay. They're not going to learn from it. If you do it for them, you know, kids are like that. You know, if you do something for that kid's not going to learn. You know, who's ever heard of the saying, you're going to learn? I've had to say that a few times to people. You're going to learn. Oh, yeah, you're going to learn today. I have had to say that a few times. All right, so what that does is that creates reliance issues. Okay, reliance issues. If you are coaching someone or guiding them along in the process, that's great. But if you do it for them, you are creating a new standard and you are creating what I like to call reliance issues. Now, reliance issues are established when we do things directly for someone instead of assisting them with the necessary tips, tools, techniques, and resources. Leaders have to be careful not to allow for someone to be completely reliant upon them, okay, but assist others in developing their own sense of ownership and accomplishment of the task. What this does is this develops confidence, competence, and a sense of pride that you own that you've accomplished that. You've taken that appropriate action and you didn't have to rely on somebody. All right. So we have some new visitors in here tonight. I'm absolutely going to chop up this name, and please forgive me, but good evening to you as well, too, to Say Taiwan Life Vlog. Welcome. Thank you for joining me here today. Thank you for taking time out of your day to join me here. Effing Asians, flipping Asians, how's everything going? Thank you for joining me here tonight. And I am so glad that you guys are taking time out of your day to join me here and watch my live stream. It means a whole lot. If you're new to my channel and you haven't subscribed, once again, please subscribe. Please give me a thumbs up. And once this does go live later on, please come back and leave a comment. Let me know what you think. If you watched it in its entirety, you know, we're having some fun tonight. We're talking about my book, What It Takes to Become a Mentor, sharing some stories, sharing a little bit of entertainment, a little bit of fun, and networking. All right. So once again, make sure you do everything the right way and connect with everybody, network with everybody, and please share this. I greatly appreciate it. Okay. And what we're doing tonight here, and this brings me to my next point, is we are connecting. That's exactly what we're doing. We are connecting through mentorship. All right. A mentor connects by putting themselves on the same level as those that they lead. All right. This is accomplished by not putting themselves on a pedestal. How often have you seen a leader or a mentor put themselves on a high pedestal and they just thought that they were better or higher than everybody else? It's absolutely the worst thing that you can do. Okay. So, have you ever had a leader that was unapproachable? I've had leaders that were unapproachable, and it really sucks because you got to be able to reach out and ask some questions. They always make themselves unavailable, and I've always found that to be very negative and very bad. If you don't make yourself available to those that you lead, you're not really a leader. You're not really a mentor. All right, so in order to connect with those that you lead, you have to speak the same language or be on the same level as them. Once people know that you are not always trying to be above them by making yourself an equal team member or a player, guess what happens? They will respect you more and connect with you more easily. Okay? When they know that you are there for them. All right, so the next one is help. A mentor always helps those that they lead by never letting anyone fall to the wayside or become forgotten. All right. How many of you work in like your own office, or you work in a cubicle somewhere far away from your team? Okay. Do you feel kind of forgotten about or kind of abandoned? Do you work in a building that has multiple floors and like part of your team is up on one floor and you're on another floor? Who here is in kind of a situation like that? I'll even give you one even better. Who here is on a team where you're kind of on like either a virtual team or like what's that, where you're working from a distance or what have you? So like you work here and your team is in a completely different like state or country for that matter, like a virtual team. That really sucks. It really does. Whenever, sometimes you can kind of feel like you're not a part of the team. All right. But let me tell you something. A genuine heart that cares for those that they lead will always help through selfless service and never ask for anything in return but a confirming smile from those that they lead that they were helped in some form or fashion. That's all that I ever ask for. I just, I always just ask for hard work and a smile. All right. And whenever I see somebody down at work, I usually try to lift their spirits up or say something. I got a lady that she works on the same floor as me at work here. And, I always stop in and I say hello to her every day. I always try to do it rhythmically. It's always kind of funny. I'll walk by her office and I say, hello, it's me, kind of rhythmically, like in singing format or whatever. And she smiles every time that I do that. It brightens her day. It lifts her up. And I'm truly thankful to be a part of that. It makes her seem special, and it kind of lifts her up, and it lifts me up as well too. So here's the thing: just because we are leaders, all right, and we know how to do something, it doesn't mean that those we lead do. Okay, we tend to forget that. We got to make sure that those that we lead, we are there for them, we are available for them, and we provide them with our knowledge and our experience. Let me ask you this right here. How often, and I kind of touched on this earlier, how often have you been asked to do something and you said, I can't do that, or I don't know how to do that? Okay, it kind of goes back to the story that I was telling you earlier. Okay. How often have you asked your employees, or if you're in a leadership position, how often have you asked somebody to do something that hold on, let me kind of find a different way to phrase this. How often have you asked somebody to do something that you couldn't do? Have you ever asked somebody to do something that you couldn't do? And guess what happens? I don't know how to do that. Can you show me that? And then guess what that makes you look like? Makes you look absolutely ridiculous because you asked somebody to do something that you don't know how to do. And now they said, I don't know how to do that. Can you help me with that? And then you can't. Oh my goodness, that's one of the worst things that can happen. So I've always struggled with that. I've always struggled with telling people to do something to do that I couldn't do. Okay? I've always struggled with that. And usually if it was something that I either can't do, I either didn't take on the task, and I definitely didn't delegate it. Now, here's the thing. Now, there are definitely people that are out there that are smarter than me, okay? And there are definitely people that work harder than me. And sometimes it comes down to that talent management, okay? Being able to know what your people know and what they can do and what they're capable of will help you as a leader and as a mentor better delegate those tasks. Because if you know somebody can do something, give that task to that person. However, at the opposite end of the spectrum, you don't want to cheat somebody else out of a learning opportunity by giving them an opportunity to learn, grow, and develop by taking on a task that they don't know how to do. Okay, but once again, the worst thing you can do in that situation is give them a task and then don't support them. Okay, if they struggle with it, they don't know what to do, help them along the way, or team them up with somebody, a team member, and then pair a strong person with a weaker person and then have them develop. That's team building right there. That's a team building opportunity. Okay. Sometimes you got to be able to do that. You got to be able to be intuitive to that, to know what your people can or cannot do, and link strong with weak and vice versa. Provide those opportunities. That's what you should be doing as a leader. All right. We have to understand that when others do need help, that we don't scrutinize. Don't scrutinize them. We have to be kind and gentle, and then we have to be able to offer genuine help, or, not necessarily yourself, but once again, teaming them up with somebody else. What this does is this often means slowing down and having the patience or the understanding that because you are the subject matter expert and that others are not, and that they may need your personal and professional guidance. Okay, when helping others, keep in mind that you are trying to complete them instead of trying to defeat them. It's easy to defeat someone. It's easy to tear someone down. But I challenge you this. If you ever find yourself in that situation, don't defeat someone, complete someone. All right. One of the best pieces of advice that was ever given to me that helped me out when I was a junior leader. All right. Oh, I went and did it again. I smashed that mouse button and jumped up 4 or 5 pages. All right. So a mentor is an organizer. One of the best examples of being organized that I've ever seen, you'd really be surprised at where it came from. It came from the cartoon Peanuts. Who here likes the cartoon Peanuts, created by Charles M. Schulz? All right. I love Snoopy. I love Peanuts. I love those. I love that cartoon. Great cartoon. All right. So in this cartoon, Lucy demanded that Linus change the TV channels, threatening him with her fist if he didn't. What makes you think you can walk right in and here and take over? Asked Linus. These 5 fingers, says Lucy. Individually, they're nothing, But when I curl them together like this into a single fist, they form a weapon that is terrible to behold. Which channel do you want? Asked Linus. Turning away, he looks at his fingers and says, why can't you guys be organized like that? Kind of a little bit of humor from Peanuts right there. So, once again, you got a hand. 5 fingers individually can't really do much, but you ball them up into a fist, they are capable of causing more damage than you think. All right? They really are. And same thing happens with the team. Nothing of any great significance happened because of one person without a team behind that person supporting. All right? If you want to achieve any amount of great success, you have to have support. You have to be a team. Okay? It's like that old quote goes, teamwork makes the dream work, right? All right, so, there's going to be moments in life in which we feel unorganized. There's a lot of times where I feel completely disorganized. There really is. There's a lot of times. And I try to write things down every day. I try to take journal notes, and I try to do different things that helps me keep organized, or at least helps keep me focused on what I like to call my bottom line up front. But there's going to be those moments. All right, everything's going to be in disarray, and nothing will seem to be in its place, causing unnecessary stress on you and those that are around you. How many times have you been around someone that's just completely disorganized? They're running around in circles. They're crazy. They're trying to do this. They're trying to do that. And they're yelling at people, and they're being short with people. And, and they're just, oh my goodness, they're just really very unorganized. All right. So joining us here tonight is Junito Del Mar. Thank you for joining us here tonight. Thank you for joining my live stream. If you're new to my channel, you haven't subscribed, once again, please hit that subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up, and welcome to my live stream. I'm truly blessed and truly thankful that you took time out of your day to join me here tonight. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. Have you ever been around those types of people right there where they're just completely disorganized? They just really don't know what they're doing, don't know what they're saying. They're just everywhere. All right. It's in moments like this that it's time to learn how to organize your life. A mentor is always prepared and always has everything in order because of learned and established organization skills that allow for him or her to keep all personal and professional business in order. Okay? It's tough. It's hard to be a leader every single day. All right? But you got to show up, and you got to show up ready and prepared in order to lead, because I tell you what, the moment that you do not show up ready and prepared, your people are going to know, and they're going to see right through you, and they're going to struggle to follow anything that you have to say if you are not prepared, if you are not organized. All right, and I've worked with a few of those people, and believe me, the rest of the team paid the price because that person was not very well organized. They paid the price. The team paid the price, and it sucked that we had to pull the weight of a senior leader because they was very disorganized. So you have to be organized. All right. So here's the thing. Being organized builds confidence in yourself and others. When everything is in its place, life is filled with less stress, and guess what? More freedom. What would you do if you had more freedom to do the things that you would like to do instead of always catching up on all the things that you need to do because of being disorganized? Okay, that's a tough question right there. What would you do if you had more freedom to do the things that you would like to do instead of always catching up? So let me ask you this. Do you feel like you're trying to catch up all the time? Do you always feel like you're behind on things? Do you kind of feel a little bit disorganized within your life? I got something that I'll talk about here in a little bit. All right. So wouldn't that extra few minutes in the morning or evening be wonderful? A mentor has the skills, the knowledge, and ability to organize many things. Some of those things, I talk about within my books. Some of those things I've talked within my blog posts and other videos. Okay. And some of the things that people need to be able to organize are people, tasks, equipment, and logistics. All right. So joining us here tonight is Liza Salutis TV. Thank you for joining me here tonight. So I joined your live stream the other night, and you were singing. Oh my goodness, you were. I loved your singing, by the way. You really sing. You really was sing. You was singing a classic. My goodness, I can't. What was that movie that song was from? Wasn't that song from the movie Ghost? I think it was. Hey, you were singing the movie from Ghost, I believe it was. I can't remember the name of the song now, but I think that song you were singing the other night was from Ghost. It was a very classic song. All right, short pause again. Sorry about that. All right, so the first thing that a mentor organizes is people. You have to be able to organize people. All right, so organizing people is important because without people, there is no team. There is no team without people. All right. It's kind of like the old saying, there is no I in team. I tell you what, there's an I in win. Anyway, that's a bad joke. But there is no I in team. You have to be able to organize people. If you want to accomplish several things, you need to have a good team of people around you, but not just any people. When organizing your team, you want to strategically place your people where they are going to be successful. You got to be able to team certain people up with certain people so that way they can kind of feed off of one another, kind of like a yin and a yang kind of a thing. Okay? You put that strong person with that strong person, or you put that strong person with a weak person, and vice versa. You got to be able to know a little bit about your team so that you can put them where they need to be. Now, at the opposite of the spectrum, I've seen it where people weren't paired properly, and it caused a lot of friction, and it caused a lot of drama, and it caused a lot of things not happening. You end up losing time, you end up losing money, you end up losing resources, and so on and so forth. And, and it really sucks for the team whenever that happens. So you want to make sure that you strategically place your people. All right. Otherwise, your team will not function properly. They just won't. All right. So I know Gordy Bobs and USA Blogger 2019, you guys are forming an amazing team. Okay. You are getting a lot of like-minded people, and you're filtering all the people out that just don't want to be a part of the team. I get that. I get your concept. Okay. I absolutely and wholeheartedly get exactly what it is that you are doing. And it's tough to build a team. You got to be consistent. You got to be persistent. You got to be able to have those people skills. You got to be able to have those communication skills. And, I think you guys, like you said, here in about 3 to 5 years, you're going to have a great team. Without a shadow of a doubt, I have without a shadow of a doubt that you're going to have a great team built during that time. I know that. It's a great team. Great team of people, great team of leaders and mentors. And if you are not a part of that team, I tell you what, you're missing out. You're missing out. So get yourself in there to that Gordy Bob's crew. Get yourself in there with USA Blogger. Show your support. Do what is necessary, because each live stream is different. Each live stream you got a different culture. That was something that USA Blogger 2019 was talking about today. He was talking about culture, talking about people and the right thing to do, and what is allowed in one stream is not necessarily. I appreciate it. Thank you. Trying to make me blush. That's what you're trying to do. Try to make me blush. Make my cheeks turn red, aren't you? No, you're not going to make me blush. Make me smile, though, but you're not going to make me blush. So, you got to be able to build the right team. And you were on some really good points about, doing things differently within different live streams. And what works in one stream doesn't work in the other. You just kind of got to get in there and get a feel for what the culture is like, what the right way to do. Because remember, those footprints that you leave are everywhere. Whether you know it or not, those things will come back and get you. they will come back and haunt you. And if you're leaving bad footprints, you're going to struggle later on, especially when it comes to trying to monetize your channel. All right, so my channel's not monetized, but I'm working on it. It is monetized in a sense because I have Patreon now. So that's one great way in which you can monetize your channel is have Patreon. So if you have subscribed to me and you do look at the top of my YouTube channel, you will see that I have a link there that says become a patron of Patreon. That's how you can show your support to the things that I do. So I have 3 tiers in which you can show support. I have a $10 tier, a $25 tier, and a $50 tier. You know, each one of them has different things. You know, you can get direct access to all of my books, my audio books, and then the big tier, the $50 one, you will have direct access to me, in which you will get an opportunity to talk to me directly and pick my brain, because I have over 24 years of knowledge and experience of leading others to personal and professional success. I have built multiple online businesses that bring in thousands of dollars to myself. So I believe in creating multiple streams of income, and I know how to do a lot of that types of stuff. I know how to build websites. I know how to build businesses. I have built businesses for other people that generates income for them as well too. Right. So that's one of the things that I did. I've had 4 and 5 hour long conversations with people in which I have mentored them directly and gave them business opportunities and ideas. And some of them, I've even built their business for them after we've talked about those ideas. Okay. And provided some of my knowledge and experience and my ability, because I'm a web developer. I'm a graphics designer. I have a lot of different things in which I bring to the table as well. And I have helped some people build their business. So once again, some things to think about, some things to consider. Once again, I'm a motivational speaker. I'm a published author. I have 5 books that are out there published, and I have a few more that I am working on. So once again, you take an opportunity to join one of those tiers. Any one of those tiers, you'll have access to all of my books. All right, even for just $10 a month, you'll get access to all of my books. I will give them to you, every single one of them, absolutely for free, to include my audiobook, and give shout outs within my videos, so on and so forth. So once again, that's an opportunity. You don't have to. I'm not even telling you that you need to, but once again, it's an opportunity. Should you choose to do so, it's there to join my Patreon. Also, USA Blogger 2019, I am a Patreon supporter of her. I have joined her $25 tier and showing her my support in doing so. And she will give you a shout out within her videos as well too. So, you know, if you don't feel comfortable joining me in my Patreon, once again, maybe you'll feel comfortable joining USA Blogger 2019. Maybe you'll feel more comfortable joining Gordy Bob's. Once again, those are opportunities and options for you to connect the right way and connect with people that will help you grow and mentor you and teach you and train you in business and life and so on and so forth. So that's kind of my quick plug for my Patreon page, should you choose to take that opportunity. I would be grateful for that, and I have a lot of other stuff that I can provide to you that's not necessarily within my videos here. All right, moving right along. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. All right, so organizing people is important, because without people, there is no team. Now, this takes some time getting used to. Having good people skills is a must. It is an absolute must in order to organize a proper team. This begins with finding out as much about your team as you can. Now, here are some questions that you need to ask when organizing a group of people. You know, if you have to take notes or go back and write these down, here's some questions that you need to consider and that you need to ask yourself when you're building a team. Okay? When building a team, you need to ask, what technical skills do you possess? Okay? Because those might be beneficial to the team. You need to know who the technical person is. What technical skills can you bring to the table? How good at you are at solving problems, because every team is going to have problems. And you need to have somebody there that can solve problems, that can brainstorm, bring ideas to the table. They have that knowledge and experience that will help the team succeed whenever a problem exists. So how good are you at solving problems? Here's another question. Are you good with administration tasks? because every team needs someone who's good at administration. Okay? Administration tasks. Are you a people person or are you a worker? This becomes important because you got to have your workers, but you also got to have your people person, the kind of the face or the negotiators or the communicators, which brings me to my next one. Are you a good communicator? Do you work well with others? Or do you prefer to work alone? Once again, these are valuable questions, vital questions that you need to ask and consider when building your team. Here's probably the most important. And I see people struggle with this next one that I'm about ready to tell you all the time. This question right here is, are you teachable and are you trainable? Because guess what? If you are not teachable and you are not trainable, you will not be a valuable member of any team. You know why? Because if you think for a second that you know everything and that you can't be taught and you can't be trained, I don't want you on my team. Because if you think that you are so high on a pedestal that you can't be taught and you can't be trained, guess what? You need to have my position. You need to be me, and you need to go out there and be the leader. Because if you know everything, you need to be in charge. I obviously don't need to be in charge. So you have to be able to ask people, are you teachable and are you trainable? And if they're not, you probably don't need them on your team. Okay? Very tough question, but a very important question to ask. All right, so these are just a few, but they are key questions that you should consider when organizing your team and where you place them, which is also important, where you place them. If you put the wrong person in the wrong place, that person could be a detriment to the team and destroy the team. Okay? Thank you, Flat Earth Forums. Thank you. Great stream. I'm glad that you enjoy the stream, man. I really do. Okay, and that's always my goal. I want to be able to provide purpose, motivation, direction, value, mentorship, leadership, knowledge, and experience that I've gained over the years to others. And, and that's all that I want to do, man. I just want to really kind of get some of that knowledge out there and build teams, build leaders. Once again, I've already said this before. I've built thousands of leaders over the years. I got 24 years of experience at doing that, and I have worked with some really good people, and I have worked with some people that I like to call meatheads or muscleheads. And those guys are pretty tough to work with. But every team needs a meathead and a musclehead to be on there too. Helps keep everybody straight. Those are good people to have too. All right, so the next one is organizing tasks. If you are a part of an organization or a team that has a massive amount of daily tasks to complete, it is imperative that you have the ability to organize tasks. Okay? One of the worst things that can happen is to either forget something or let something fall through the cracks because you did not have the ability to organize tasks. The problem sometimes with organizing tasks is that different tasks have different priority levels depending on who or where the task is coming from and when it is due or to be completed. All right, so here are some tips. Before I go into these tips, I need to take another drink here. So I've been going for 2 hours. I think this is my longest stream. Yeah, I think this is my longest stream to date. But it's a great topic, though. How to become a mentor. Great topic, and definitely deserves the time that I'm giving it. So, once again, if you're enjoying this live stream, please, share it out to everybody. Get more people in here. Let me know that you enjoy this stream. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know in the chat if you are enjoying this live stream. Please let me know. I definitely enjoy the feedback. It keeps me motivated, keeps me inspired, and you know what? It may make me smile. It may actually make me smile just a little bit. We'll see. All right. So here are some tips to help you organize tasks. First thing you should do is write your tasks down on a to-do list. I love to-do lists. All right. So One of the best things that you can do, I think I have them right here. Yes, right here behind me, I have 3x5 cards. On these 3x5 cards, I will write down things because I like to keep 3x5 cards to where I can take notes and I can do different things. And Janelle's Kitchen, how's everything going? Thank you for joining me. All right, thank you for joining me here tonight. Thank you. And as I reached around and I saw these 3x5 cards, it actually, I actually just saw my daughter drew this for me the other day. What do y'all think of that right there? Isn't that cute? My daughter drew that for me the other day. She came down and gave that to me, and I've had it on this desk right here behind me, and I love it, man. It's actually that is really cute. I really enjoy that my daughter drew that for me. That was good artwork right there. And I keep that right there behind me so that I can look at it whenever I turn around. Yeah, it was. It was really cute. I like it. All right, so 3x5 cards. All right, or a digital device program. So I know me, you know, I'm always tied to my phone as well too. So I got one of these big flipping iPhone 6s. This thing's huge. I like it though. I got big hands, so I need a bigger phone. And you know, I keep notes on there as well too. And the good thing about that is that I can tie those notes with my computer because I have a Mac. And whatever I type on my computer, guess what? That thing goes to my phone and vice versa. So when I'm always writing notes, those things go back from my computer to my phone. And when I'm out and about, I can copy and paste that and put it onto, you know, something else. And I can, you know, shoot a quick live video or do something or shoot, you know, whatever the case, if I'm trying to make a point. And if I'm out and about, I can write notes down. So whichever you choose, pick one and kind of stick with it. But remember, keep it simple. And prioritize your tasks by importance level from highest to lowest. So what are your top 3 to 5 tasks every day? Another thing that you can do is use a color code system. You know, you can have markers and you can color code different things and have a little legend below that says, okay, here's the priority for these things. Another thing that you can do is use a calendar to keep track of important dates and times, a wall calendar, desk calendar, software calendar. I use all of them. I have a wall calendar, a desk calendar, and a software calendar. And my email even has a calendar in it as well, too. It keeps all the appointments. I share that out. Everybody knows when I'm not going to be around. That's on the team. All right, so organize your equipment, tools, and resources to accomplish the task. Take breaks to refresh your body and mind, but continue the task once the break is over. Don't jump around from task to task, which is very important. You know, stay focused on the task that you are trying to complete. And here's another one. Delegate tasks so that you can maximize your ability to accomplish multiple tasks and add value to others by doing so. You know, people like to have tasks given to them, so don't hesitate to delegate those tasks because it gives them an opportunity to learn, grow, develop, and succeed as well, too. Okay, you don't have to do everything. You can delegate tasks. All right, so review your list often to see what you've done and what still needs to be done and reprioritize if or as needed, and then carry those tasks over throughout the next day. And then importantly, establish a routine in order to streamline your tasks and keep them under control, but remain flexible enough so that you do not get overwhelmed or taken by surprise. All right, so joining us here tonight is also Rita Juicy Life. Rita Juicy Life, thank you for joining me. I'm doing well, thank you. All right, so network with everybody here, and I'm truly thankful that you're here tonight. Thank you for joining me. Thank you. All right. Set goals so that you have something to strive for. Do not go overboard by setting goals that are not achievable. Okay, you got to be able to set goals that are achievable. Now, once again, you got to be able to set goals high enough so that you have something to strive for, but you also want to set them kind of low enough so that you can achieve small wins along the way. And then more importantly, reward yourself for the completion of a task before you start a new one. You know, so many people get bent on this whole thing of I can multitask, I can do 52 things all at once, and by God, I'm good at all 52 of them. No, you're not. No, you're not. Okay? I don't like the word multitasking. I really don't. I really do not like the word multitasking because I think that we are so overwhelmed with all these different things It's kind of like trying to chew gum and rub your darn belly at the same time. It's two different things. Focus on one thing and be the best that you can be at that one thing, and then move on to the next. Okay? Focus on that one thing. Do your best work with that one thing. All right, and then reward yourself. All right, and if for some reason that you have a setback, don't quit. Do not quit. Whatever you do, don't quit. Don't give up. Find what you can learn from and do better next time. You know what? I love failing. I actually do. I truly get a blast. I get a kick out of failure. You know why? Because I learn from those failures. Nobody learns anything from success. You just don't. Although success leaves clues so that you can follow and emulate that success, people really don't learn anything from success. They get complacent with it. Okay? And then they kind of rest on that success, and they don't go out and achieve more success or new success unless you set higher goals or things that you want to try to achieve. So I've learned a lot from failure. Learned a lot by failing. You can really learn a lot from failure. When you do fail, the idea is to not quit, but to conduct what I like to call an after-action review. If you fail, conduct what's called an after-action review by identifying what went right, because you know what? Even though you failed, something went right. Identify what went right. Then you want to identify what went wrong. And then more importantly, you need to identify what appropriate action you need to take next time so that you can have success. Okay? But don't wallow around in self-pity because you failed and now you don't know what to do. Okay? Write down those things. Talk it over with a friend. Talk it over with somebody who's more knowledgeable and experienced than you. So that way you can learn and develop, because sometimes, you might need that shared knowledge. You might need that shared experience in order to accomplish it the next time. Okay. Moving right along, organizing equipment. The right tool or the equipment at the right time, used in the right way, can make a world of difference. Remember earlier I talked about a virtual or a digital toolbox, a virtual toolbox, so to speak? The right tool or the right equipment at the right time, used in the right way, can make a world of difference. If you use the wrong tool, okay, you might not necessarily get the same results. How often have you tried to put a circle in a square or a square in a circle? It's kind of hard to do, isn't it? Okay. Got to make sure you got the right tool for the job. But how often have you needed a tool or a piece of equipment and it was nowhere to be found? Here are some tips to help you organize all your tools or equipment that you can use on a daily. This is really if you have a lot of like physical tools I'm talking about here. So you can use bins, crates, plastic containers to keep everything organized and color code them or have labels on each container. Use packing lists so that you know what you stored and where. Use diagrams with a number or a letter system to identify items. Put hooks on the wall and hang things from them in a designated room or a space specifically for those items. Use a shed or a garage or some type of footlocker to store bigger items. Once you are done with the tool or piece of equipment, make sure you put it back in its place. And if you loan out any tools or equipment, ensure that you have a tracking system so that you know who has it and when they borrow the item. And if an item gets lost, stolen, or broken, ensure that you replace it immediately. Yeah, just a little housekeeping stuff on tools. All right, organizing logistics. All right, moving right along, organizing logistics. Keeping track of logistics is essential for any team or organization to ensure that everything from production, storage, distribution, transactions, orders, procurements, transportation, sourcing, outsourcing, locations, and so on can be taken care of without fail. Okay, logistics is challenging. All right, if you ever worked in the field of logistics, oh my goodness, it is tough. It is challenging to keep track of logistics for any company. It really is. I mean, anywhere from like a fast food place up to a major corporation has some sort of logistics, and it's a real challenge to keep track of logistics. Without a logistical tracking system, an organization will lose valuable time, money, equipment, ability, capability, and resources. All right. So some things that you can do to kind of, create a logistics program or something that can help you keep you organized is create checklists of equipment on hand, on order, in repair, in use, and so on. Ensure that contact lists are up to date or for people or organizations that you use to accomplish sourcing and outsourcing, and develop a database. A database is very important. That helps you keep track of orders, storage, distribution, transactions, procurement, and anything that you want to keep track of. Okay. And then you can use other trackers and so on and so forth. All right. So there's many things that an organization can do, but as long as you have tracking systems in place and designated personnel to ensure the quality control of the tasks, everything will be maintained appropriately. All right, we're almost done here. We're winding down a little bit. This is the last section. I want to thank you for those of you that have stuck around and listened to me talk for 2 hours and 15 minutes so far. It has been a journey. All right. Once again, this is, I think, the longest live stream I've done. And, I've seen a few of you go out there and do 3, 4, 5, 6 hour live streams. I don't see how you do it. I'm not going to lie to you. My throat is killing me. It really is. All right. You're absolutely welcome. Thank you. Thank you, Chess Crystal. Thank you for being here for me. Thank you for your support. Thank you for taking the time out of your day to listen to me talk about a lot of these things. Hopefully you're motivated. If you're motivated, let me know in the chat room. All right. If you find the content valuable that I am providing for you here tonight, please let me know if you find this valuable, if it's motivating. If you've learned something here tonight, please let me know if you learned something. Let me know what the most valuable thing that you've learned tonight so far. I want to know that, so that way I can kind of highlight that and take that down as a note. Please let me know what you found the most valuable tonight. Okay. I know USA Blogger 2019, you like to leave homework assignments. I like more immediate action. You know what I'm saying? It kind of helps me along here. So whatever you got valuable, what was the most valuable tonight so far, please let me know. All right. So here's the last one. A mentor is a recruiter. So John Maxwell, who's familiar with John C. Maxwell? Dr. John C. Maxwell, he's got probably, oh my goodness, I don't know how many books he's up to now. He's probably got about 100 books out nowadays. I've read probably 40 of his books. Okay. John Maxwell, that guy has a ton of books. So on my bookshelf back here, these are just some of my next TBRs. TBR stands for to be read. So some of the books on my shelf back here I've already read, but that's not all the books that I have. I actually have a lot more books than that. These are just the ones behind me. I need to put a couple more bookshelves up so I can get all my books out there. Chess Crystal, thank you for sharing that. So you've learned to be a leader, but also include myself with the team. Thank you. Thank you very much. Oh, yeah, absolutely. But I got a few books by John Maxwell back there on my shelf. Right now, here's what I'm reading right now. So if any of you are very interested in what I'm reading now, here's what I'm reading right now. I'm reading this book right here called Master Your Brain by Philip Adcock. So this is what I'm currently reading right now. As you see my little bookmark right here. So I'm reading this. This is my current book that I'm reading right now called Master Your Brain, Training Your Mind for Success in Life. All right, so that's what I'm currently reading. I don't know what I'm going to read next, but we'll see. I got a few good ones up here. I'll probably read this one next. This is a good book right here, Sales Manifesto. I'm probably going to read that one next. I haven't decided. I got a few here that I could read from. But that's my current book that I'm reading right now. It's called Master Your Brain. Oh, 13? Yeah, let me show you real quick. So this book right here, 13 Things That Mentally Strong People Don't Do. It's by Amy Morin. 13 things mentally strong people don't do. Yeah, good book. Got some really good stuff in it. So a mentor is a recruiter. Yeah, you're welcome. Absolutely. All right. So John C. Maxwell said it best. If it's lonely at the top, then you are not doing something right. What you're not doing right is that you didn't bring anyone with you. Guess what? Good leaders are always recruiting others to be on their team. Okay? Good leaders are always recruiting others to be on their team. You have to make people want to be on your team. Whether they believe it or not or know it or not, you have to have the ability to make people want to be on your team. Okay? Believe me, over the years, I've had several people that were not on my team, but asked to be on my team after they've seen me in action. Okay? And there's nothing wrong in that. Now, although I can't have everybody on my team, you know, I've had some really good people on my team over the years. Okay? So a leader never makes it to the top on his or her own without a strong supporting cast to help them along the way. And right now, Gordy Bobs and USA Blogger 2019 are hard at work building a great team. All right, so if you're not connected to either one of them, I highly recommend connecting out and reaching out to Gordy Bobs and USA Blogger 2019. They are in the process of building a really solid team. And if you want to go somewhere within life and business and YouTube, make sure that you connect the right way with them. You know, and once again, connect with me as well, too. I have a few different ways to connect with me. We'll talk about that a little bit more here later. But continuing right along, good leaders are always recruiting others to be on their team. A leader never makes it to the top on his or her own. It would be an overwhelming challenge to do something or to do everything by yourself, which is why you need to surround yourself with good people to help you along the way. Okay, so here's some tips. I'm going to leave you with some tips and some techniques that'll help you recruit others on your team. So if you're ready to take some notes, here's some great notes right here. Here's some good notes. If you want to build a team and you want to build the team the right way, take these notes down right here. All right. And if you want me to send these notes to you, I can send them to you as well, too. I have no idea how we can accomplish that just yet. But once again, like I said, I'm reading from one of my books, but if you become a Patreon member, you'll get access to all of my books. Okay. So here's some notes for you. Here's some tips to help you recruit others on your team and build the team into a strong unit that can accomplish any task anytime. Are you ready? Here they are. Number one, set an example that makes others want to be on your team by establishing strong moral and ethical values. Values. People want to be a part of a team that has strong values. So you have to ask yourself, what are your values? What is it that you value? Do you value time? Do you value money? Do you value family, friendship? What are your values? You have to be able to identify what your values are. Is your value loyalty? Okay, loyalty is a value. Duty. Okay, respect. Okay, those are values. Honor, integrity, courage. You know, those are values. But if you didn't notice there, I did kind of a twist if you didn't pick up on those values that I was doing. I used an acronym called leadership. Loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, personal courage. Leadership. It's an acronym. Those are some good values to have right there. If you don't have any of those values, those are some good values to have. Okay? All right, you have to be the example that others want to follow. You have to be the example that others want to follow. Okay? Be kind and courteous to others so that they want to be around you. Nobody likes a tyrant leader that is always talking at people. Okay. Read a Juicy Life. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I am very intellectually stimulating, says Read a Juicy Life. Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. Okay. It means a lot to me that you're saying that. And in order to be that, you really got to have a lot of knowledge and experience. I read a lot of books. Once again, if you're unfamiliar with who I am, I got 24 years of knowledge and experience leading others to success. I've led thousands of people to personal and professional success. I mean, you got to kind of catch up to it a little bit to know a little bit more about me. But once again, thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. I try to be. Hopefully this is inspirational. All right. So nobody likes a tyrant. I mean, bottom line up front, nobody likes to work for somebody who is a tyrant leader that is always talking at people. And there's lots of really bad examples of that out there. All right, remember, you want to help others get what they want, and they will help you get what you want, because there's a great quote that's out there. If you help enough other people get what they want, eventually you will get what you want. Okay? Very strong words right there. That's what being a servant leader is all about. You have to be able to serve others, not self-service, selfless service. Okay? Once again, you help enough other people get what they want, eventually you will get what you want. All right? So, people often feel obligated to return the favor whenever you do help them. Develop strong professional relationships with those along the way, and be sure not to burn any bridges, because you never know when you may need that person again. Now, over the years, I have burnt a few bridges. Okay, I have. I've cut that cord, and I'm like, I don't need you. I made a decision to burn that bridge. I made a decision to cut that cord. Okay. And in those decisions right there, I've been pretty right about those people, and I no longer needed them within my life. And that's a tough choice to make. Okay. But I'll share a quick story with you before I move on to the next set of tips. I remember one time I had a supervisor that I worked for, and this was a very challenging person to work for. He was constantly talking at me and didn't want to listen to anything that I had to say, and it was very challenging. And he would try to do this in front of other people, in front of other employees, and I didn't appreciate it not much, And I usually tried to pull him off to the side and say, "Hey, sir, we need to come over here, because we don't need to be, talking like this in front of other people like that. Okay, we just don't need to do that." And I tried to mentor him and tried to coach him and teach him and everything. And the whole time that he was, around me, he didn't want to listen. Anyway, about a year after that, when he moved away, 101 Food Travel, I'm doing well, thank you. Thank you for joining me here tonight. I'm glad that you can join me on my live stream here. So this person moved away to another company, and you never guess what happened. About a year later, he comes back to me and says, "You know what? You are absolutely correct. Everything that you tried to show me and everything that you tried to teach me, you are absolutely correct. And I want to truly apologize for being an ass and not listening to you back whenever we was working together." He goes, "Everything that you said was right. And I'm over here struggling in my new company now, and I need your assistance." Okay. Now, to me, that said a lot, that he had the courage and the candor to come back and tell me that I was right. And not only that, ask me for my assistance. Now, I easily could have done a couple of different things. I could have easily ignored him, and I could have easily said, "No, you're out there on your own now. You didn't want my assistance back then. Why would I give you my assistance now?" But you know what? I helped this person, because it said a lot about my ability and my level of professionalism to help him when he reached out in his time of need. Even though he didn't want to listen to me a year before. Okay? Sometimes you have to put your personal pride to the side and be the professional so that you can help others succeed in their time of need. Man, that kind of rhymed, didn't it? I need to write a song about that. That totally rhymed. I didn't realize that until after I said it. I'm rhyming here tonight. I'm rapping leadership. I'm rapping. I'm not going to rap. No, don't get me to do no beat and rap or nothing like that. I can't do that. But I absolutely totally rhymed that. That was funny. I'm easily entertained if you haven't noticed. All right. So the worst thing that can happen is that you find yourself in an uncomfortable situation with someone that you upset and then need that person for something else. That was my point with that story right there. All right. So you may or may not get the quality assistance that you are seeking, but you know what? Any assistance is better than no assistance. So you may get help only because the other person is maintaining their professionalism, but you will feel extremely uncomfortable. I can tell you that. It made me kind of uncomfortable, but you know what? I helped the guy out anyway. All right, so here's another tip. Look for specific talents and put the right person in the right place at the right time with the right attitude and watch everything go right. So that's another video of mine. So if I could make a recommendation of a video to watch, another video to watch of mine, I have a video that's on my homepage called How to Succeed or How to Be Successful. I think it's called How to Be Successful. How to Be Successful. If you watch that video right there, that's one of my more produced videos. Okay, I got a green screen and I got something else on the back of that. It's one of my more produced videos. How to Be Successful. In that video, I talk about what is called the 5 rights, which is be at the right place at the right time in the right uniform, dress or attire with the right information, and more importantly, the right attitude. If you adhere to the 5 rights, you can never be wrong. Okay, so I highly recommend, if you haven't watched that one, make sure you put that on your watch later list or watch that after the live stream. Okay, How to Be Successful. Great tips and techniques within that video right there. So if I could just, make a recommendation on one of my videos, that would be the next one that I would recommend that you watch. All right, so you have to know where to put your people. You have to know where to put your assets and resources in order to accomplish the task with the right people. You put the wrong person at the wrong task, it could absolutely lead to disaster. All right, so here's another great tip. Be personal with your personnel. Now, I know that there's a gray area there. You don't want to be too personal with your personnel, okay? And you don't want to set yourself up to where you're too friendly with them, okay? But know something about your people. Let me ask you this. How much do you know about your people? How personal do you get with your personnel? Do you know enough about your people to where you can make a decision based off of the things that you know? Okay, knowing something about your people, in other words, being personal with your personnel, it will help you make better decisions and help that person, especially if they're in need. When you know things, you can provide assistance and help with them, because had I not known that one of my employees had a personal problem, I would not have been able to help solve that problem had I not known about it, had I not been personal with my personnel. I wouldn't have been able to get the help that person needed if I wasn't personal with my personnel. So get personal with your personnel. Know a little bit about them so that you can help them when they need it, or more importantly, when they don't know that don't realize that they need the help. Okay. So in order to really build your team, you have to know your team. Be personal with your personnel. You don't have to go to their houses. You don't have to inspect everything with a fine-tooth comb, but you should know enough about your people to know when there's something wrong or when they need something. Okay? You cannot really help or assist your personnel if you know nothing about them. So get to know your team a little bit. All right? So give others opportunities to expand and to grow by mentoring and delegating in order to see what other areas they are successful in as well. Who knows? They may have some talents that you are just completely unaware of. When you know your employees or you know that they have some type of hidden talents, you can utilize them properly. You can delegate tasks accordingly. All right? You will never know what talent is out there unless you give the opportunity for others to show their talents. Give them opportunity, provide opportunity. Once again, provide purpose, motivation, direction, and I'll even throw opportunity in there as well too. Develop a mentorship program that teaches and coaches junior leaders by providing opportunities for growth and development. If you watched one of my other videos, you heard me talk about the junior leadership program that I ran within my organization. What I did is I allowed my junior personnel to be a leader for the day, in which I made them the leaders and the leaders the workers. I flipped the script. Okay, I became a worker. I want you to learn and grow and develop into the leader that you were meant to be. But in order to do that, I need to put you in that position. So you're going to lead and I'm going to follow. There's a difference between being a leader and being the led. And you have to be able to differentiate between the two. When you're in leadership mode, you're leading. When you're in the led mode, you're listening, you're learning, you're supporting. Okay? And you have to be able to differentiate between the two. You have to be able to switch modes interchangeably and equally. You have to be able to lead and you also have to be led. All right. And remember, one day, these people will eventually move up and run the organization. They too will become leaders in the organization within the team. So it is very important, very imperative that you provide them with every opportunity, every tool, every resource available so that when that day comes, they are prepared and ready to lead. I'll even take it one step further. Before they even get there, they should already be leading. Before you get to that senior level, you should already be mentoring. You should already be growing. You should already be developing. You should already be enabling, motivating, teaching, training, coaching. You should already be organizing. You should already be negotiating. You should already be recruiting before you ever get put in that leadership position. You should already be showing that you already know what you're doing before you get put in that position of leadership or mentorship. All right. So I have to wind this down. I've been talking for about 2 hours and 36 minutes. I want to personally thank each and every one of you for joining me here tonight. There was a few of you that stayed for the duration of this, and I want to thank you for staying with me the entire way. All right. Thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for listening to the things that I had to talk about tonight. So what I talked about tonight was from my book, What It Takes to Become a Mentor. I literally just read my entire book. It was a very short read. It was a very quick read. What It Takes to Become a Mentor. All right. And hopefully you gain some knowledge. Hopefully you gain some valuable insight from some of the things that have made me successful. And I hope that you'll be able to put those within your virtual toolkit or within your toolkit, and you can use them back within your team. Now, here's the thing. When I say team, I say that loosely. Okay. A team could be anything. A team could be a husband and wife, a boyfriend and a girlfriend, parents. It could be, it could be mother and father. Doesn't necessarily have to be boss, supervisor, leader. Okay. It could be anybody. Tony Patriot, how you doing? Thank you for joining me here tonight in my live stream. I'm truly blessed, truly thankful to have you here. Thank you for joining me. Finally glad to see a lot of familiar names that I've seen in other live streams here with me tonight. So I've been reading from my book, What It Takes to Become a Mentor. I'm actually done with it, so you kind of caught me at the tail end here. I've thoroughly enjoyed reading this to everybody here tonight, and I thoroughly enjoyed sharing some of the tips, tools, techniques that have made me successful over the years, and I hope that they will make you successful within your endeavors. I wish everybody all the best, continued success. And before I go, if you really enjoyed this, please share it out. Leave me a comment once this does go live. What you learned, what you discovered, what was the best tip that I left you. Okay. And if you would like to connect with more from me, once again, you can do so by visiting my website, terrythompson.me. On my website, terrythompson.me, and I'll go ahead and drop a link in here if I can type. Terry Thompson.me. That is the link to my website. Okay. So if you go to my website, terrythompson.me, there you will find more of my content. You will find my books. You will also find 2 books that I have there that I'm giving away absolutely for free. Okay. I have How to Live Your Best Year Ever in 2019, and I have Leadership Solved. So Leadership Solved is another book that I have. Here's the book right here, Leadership Solved. I have the audiobook version of this on my website, absolutely for free, and all I ask you to do is sign up. I promise that I absolutely will not spam you. I do not spam. I absolutely hate spam. I can't stand it when it happens to me, and my goal is to not spam you. I will give you my content absolutely for free. All I ask is that you sign up on my website, terrythompson.me. You'll get access to 2 books absolutely for free. And if you want to take it a step further, I also have another way in which you can show your support and connect with me, and that's by joining my Patreon page. So if you go to my homepage on YouTube here, you will see at the top of my YouTube channel, become a Patreon or patron of Patreon. If you join me on Patreon, I have 3 tiers. I have my supporter tier, super supporter, and I have ultimate supporter. Each one of those tiers, supporter is $10 a month, super supporter is $25 a month, and ultimate supporter is $50 a month. Each one of those tiers has specific things in which you will get access by being a Patreon supporter of mine. If you are a Patreon supporter, doesn't matter any tier, all 3 tiers I have some of the same things. Each one of my tiers you will get access to all of my books. I will literally give you all of my books for free. Well, a part of the Patreon. If you join my Patreon, you get all of my books as a part of your membership. You will also get shout outs within my YouTube videos if you're a Patreon supporter. And you will also get access to exclusive content that is not available anywhere else. Okay, so I will have exclusive content that's only available on my Patreon page that Patreon supporters are paying for. Paid content. Okay. If you join tier 3, which is $50 a month, that's the ultimate supporter package. You will have direct access to me. When you have direct access to me, you will literally have direct access to me. We will be able to have a video teleconference, and we will talk, and I will help you build a business. I can help you do marketing and advertising. I can help you do a lot of different things. There's a lot of different things that I can help out with. I build websites. I do digital graphics design. I do audio work. I have a lot of marketing experience, building business experience. You know, once again, that's one way that you can show your support to me, and how I can give back to you is by joining my Patreon page. All right, so if you enjoyed tonight, once again, please share this out. Give me a big thumbs up. Let me know what it is that you learned the best. Head on over to my website, terrythompson.me. Join up. Get access to at least 2 of my books. And once again, if you want to take it a step further, you can join my Patreon and take it a step further. I wish everybody all the best. Continued success. Thank you for joining me here tonight. All right. So USA Blogger 2019, thank you. Liza Salutis TV, thank you. Chess Crystal, thank you. Tony Patriot, thank you for joining me here tonight. 101 Food Travel, thank you. I can't see everybody that's in the list here. Yeah, that's weird. For some reason within my live chat, I cannot see who's here. So if I miss somebody, I truly do apologize. I don't mean to miss anybody, but I can't see who all is in the live stream. It will not let me click anything to see here on who's in the live stream. But once again, thank you for joining me here tonight. Head on over to my website, grab a couple of my books for free. If you want to take it a step further, show your support on Patreon. And I look forward to seeing you within the next live stream. And we will see you guys later. Have a great night. I will see you next time.